Ahoy hoy. Just check my sound level here.
I was surprised I was in first. I was like, did I mix something up?
You talking about you're the leader? Don't do anything without you, bird.
It's news to me.
Well, it was a secret vote,
Ah,
and we didn't include you.
understandable.
See, I got rules, I got rule 20, I got notes, I got a folder, a PDF. Just look at last week's notes. Is your mic going to be doing that this week again, Drake? The last station I had to edit out a lot of fucking crackles it was making.
That's because it's a wired headset and like it keeps.
It's loose at the port, yeah.
Yeah. I'll mute it with Discord this time. If it starts acting up, just let me know.
I'm not sure the muting matters, man. I think it's every time you're going to like turn it on to speak, it would do it.
Yeah. As I say, I'm going to use Discord to mute it instead of using the actual cable to do it this time.
Yeah.
So.
How's everyone else doing?
Yep, doing alright.
Hello, hello.
Good. Alright.
And hello.
I wasn't that excited for this one, but now I'm all adrenaline. Too distracted today with other things. Let's watch you all go in a completely different direction from everything I was thinking about.
Isn't that kind of like normal though? Isn't that what happens all the time?
Yeah, you're used to it.
No, I'm so masterful. I always get you going exactly where I want you to go.
Even you saying that we're gonna go in a different direction this time was just to make us dance on your hand.
Exactly. Just to thread you along in the direction I want you in.
Yeah, we've got to hurry up and create the cult of Malekith.
I think it's already pretty established. Just to keep dying.
Yeah, he's literally as a sorcerer here with a demon army. It's been here for a while. You just like fed into it. But I mean that makes sense because you're a golden boy and the golden boys have now sided with Aelemic's army. I.e. Malekith. So I mean it makes sense you would be evil inclined that way. But this is the journey on how you become uneval, right? Right?
Of course,
Yeah,
of course.
sure. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
It's a process.
It looks like a long process from what I'm saying.
Does it count as becoming uneven if you just accidentally accomplishes good?
I don't think so.
I think you
I think
need...
you have to make a conscious effort for that.
Yeah, I think you need the intent.
It's the thought that counts. Eh?
As long as other people believe that I'm good, then I'm a good guy, right?
No, that's not how this works. Either.
No, you have to be a good guy yourself.
You have to be
Oh.
against the bad guy. That's the only qualifier we really have, because everything else is perspective. But we have a definitive, like, evil bad guy, and if you're not against him, then you're not good. And walking around, like, spreading his good word as a prophet is probably not that.
What if I don't believe that he's the bad guy?
I mean, you're still doing his work for him. I mean, part of your journey can be coming to the realization that he's a bad guy and the stuff he does is bad.
I think it's just the like history is written by the victor kind of thing. He's hedging his bets.
Well, he's a Minotaur, they're just biding their time, aren't they? He's probably
I
like,
suppose.
Malekith will come, kill them all, then we'll have to put up with Malekith and whatever he is for a while. Until he also fucks off.
I forget if you said how long like individual minotaurs last or live.
I was just going off the assumption they just lived until someone killed them.
Yeah,
Ah.
Raz is pretty old, right?
Yeah, Raz is. I have it on his character sheet that he's 102.
Ah, that's young as compared to some of the long-living races. That's only old for humans.
Because he's
But
not
how many of
being
those
killed yet.
long-living races can rip someone in half?
That is a good point.
Yeah, the lifespan is probably artificially short because of all the violence they tend towards. So when we left off, you had jumped onto the boat and you threw Noki onto the boat with you all.
I do find it strange how you just cannot get that name right.
Noki, Naoki, what?
Naoki.
Naoki.
Naoki. Okay.
It's because it sounded like Aoki to me at first, man. Anyway, this poor sap's been chucked in the boat and he's stuck with you guys again. But you are still taking off from the port, the harbour, the pier at this point, when this giant like cloud, and it's like a mist or a fog at first, it seems to you, but once you're kind of like swallowed by it, it's more like a dust storm. There's like grit to it, which is very unusual because it's coming across the water, obviously. And as you guys in the ship are kind of covered in it, or just before you're covered in it, you see like one of the scarabs fall out of the cloud onto this Malekith preacher guy on the dock, and just starts tearing the flesh from his bones. He dies screaming in agony as the sight's kind of obscured by the dust cloud swallowing you all, and then the sound of gunfire comes out as some of the crewmen on the ship like raise their very basic, I was calling them muskets, but they're, or flintlocks, but they're more basic than that. You know, they're having to like do the gunpowder in the ball and ram it down and all that kind of stuff before they can fire.
At this very bad opportunity, Shiki is going to faint.
Oh, I imagine like they shoot one point blank and his body just like falls to the deck a few feet away from you, Shiki, and its features, you know, fully rendered before you. And that's when
There'll be
you
a very high-pitched squeal followed by Shiki just going stiff as a board and falling cartoonishly backwards.
Sure, I mean, imagine you've all heard this girlish shriek before, and it's usually Naoki that does it, but this time it's Shiki that's doing it. Yes, this approximately 6 foot, you know, standing tall. It would stand on 2 legs with 4 arms, 6 limbs in total. Plus, it has his wings. Insectoid kind of creature, nasty-looking mandibles, multitude of eyes. It has a sort of pale skeleton and bone kind of texture and colour to its chitin armour, which is segmented into like 3 sections, like just like an ant or something. And it's also covered in like these short, hard hairs as well. And one of them shot out the sky, point blank. These muskets are not very accurate until close range. They can't really do damage until then, so this thing must have been hovering right above the ship when it got hit. But the crewmen are like firing point blank as the other ones are rowing as hard as they can and getting the sails going. And you start moving at speed away from the city, the port. Your ears will just be filled with this like thunderous, buzzing din. Just mass, and then the sky in front of you just gets darker as it's like the sunlight is obscured even more by just a mass of these massive insect bodies as they swarm over past you into where the city is, and then you start to hear the screams in the distance. You can see the barbarian, the large man that was speaking to Raz before in the ship, and he kind of reaches down and unfolds a canvas and pulls out a massive bow, which is about the height of an average man, to work well with his weight, and he pulls out a huge arrow and just starts to pull it backwards and take aim into the cloud, and you can't even see where he's aiming at, and he lets go, and then there's a thunk sound as the arrow crunches through the armor of one of these scarab beings, and it falls to like the very end of the ship, just like clunks off the barrier at the end of the boat into the water. Do the rest of you want to do anything apart from Shiki, who's fainted?
Master Fee is gonna rush over to Shiki, pull him somewhere to the cover so he's safe, and he's gonna shout to everybody on board to rally up because they're coming from above us. So we stand together and do not fire until they are close.
So the big guy, I don't know if I was there when we got his name. I think I've got Madala noted down.
Madala, yeah. It wasn't you that spoke to him though, it was Raz.
But he seems to know what he's doing. I'll assume I don't know his name. But I'll go up and ask like what we can do to help defend off these insects.
So he's like the height of Raz, so where do you come up on him? Height-wise?
I mean, I guess pretty much regular human height.
Okay, so maybe your eyes are level with his pecs or something. He's like a full head and shoulders above you.
And she's probably shouting a wee bit just because of the chaos around them.
He takes aim again and just like glances downwards with his eyes at you for a second before he looks back up to take aim. Whatever you can do, and if you can't do anything, then take cover, little one. He lets another arrow go, and there's another splish a few moments later.
Jam's just like comparing the size of her bow to his.
His bow is like the size of you.
Yeah. But she's gonna like knock an arrow, and then if any get closer, then she'll try and aim for weak spots instead of just chunking through them like he is.
Okay, cool. You want to give me a careful roll for that?
Sure.
You're just scanning, the sky above you, looking for an opportunity, trying to catch a shadow and outline something to aim at.
Well, starting good this week.
And with that, you'll be able to you just catch like a flitter of something, coming in and out of the cloud above you, and it's just enough of an outline to give you something to aim for. But it's quite a large target, even though it's moving at speed. And you're able to hit it, and you must have hit it in the neck or the head because it just kind of spirals away from you, and there's a splish of water a few moments later to indicate that you've managed to put one down. What about you, Drac? You want to do something?
I'm just gonna slip into the shadows and hide.
Do you want to give me a sneaky then?
Yeah, I'll give you a sneaky roll.
Obviously you can go to shadow, no problem, but the remaining hidden parts are sneaky.
Does stealth give me advantage or anything?
Yeah, sure, why not?
6, 7, 8 plus 2 is 10.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a roll you're going to fail very often. And so, who are you trying to stay hidden from?
The insects, mostly.
Are you not bothering
Well,
if
actually,
any-
the people. Yeah, I actually want to hide from the people.
Yeah, because there's crewmen on the ship. There may even be a couple of other passengers who are dressed differently, and there's the barbarian himself. So I mean, I'm not sure. You can, with that kind of role, you can stay hidden from everybody though. Nobody's going to kind of notice you, or taking a step back into the shadow of one of the masts, and kind of like disappearing. And where do you want to appear, like lower deck or something?
No, I'm just gonna see what happens before I make another move.
Okay, what about you, Raz?
I'm just gonna go to the edge of the ship and just stand there with my axe ready. Wait for something to get close.
Almost challenging something to come at you.
Yeah.
Hey, give me a flashy roll.
Flashy, yeah.
See if it starts you off in a bad spot or not.
Would Would disturbing or intimidating give me anything for that?
I mean, they would. I'm not sure if it'd be to your advantage or not, though.
I don't know.
Because the thing is, you want to attract one for a fight, right? But you don't want too many. I think they would balance out, just give it a regular roll. Do you have a mod for that? No.
No, my flash is 0.
0. Yeah, I would say with that it's a little too successful. One of the things comes flying right down towards you, and you can see another 2 directly behind it, flying in a triangular formation, and they're swooping down towards you. The one at the front has a long, nasty-looking spear in its hands, or what passes for hands. So what do you want to do?
I guess I'll hold my axe at the ready to try to smack it into the 2 behind it.
A careful roll then, since you're kind of holding, waiting.
Alright.
I think 1-on-1 you're more powerful, but because they outnumber you, it's going to kind of equal it. Yes, the first one you're able to kind of decapitate quite swiftly. Just lop its head off while kind of avoiding the spear, and take that out with your axe. The second one is going to just do almost like a 90-degree kind of swivel in the air as it comes up to you, and exposing like this massive stinger coming out the end of its abdomen, and it's just going to plunge that into your shoulder, and there's just like a pulse as it just kind of like injects you with a big glob of poison. So do you want to roll your defense for me? And you are more resistant to poison, so that's going to give you...
Yeah, I have endurance, and then...
Yeah, so they'll give you an extra +1 because it's because you've got that. Using the player 6's drag.
Yeah, I know. I didn't mean to roll that either. I was like, of course I got a 6.
That'd be +2.
Yep, go for it.
Oof.
So you can take a wound and then either a pain or a stress.
And I'll take a bleeding heavily and lose my grip on something.
Sure. Yeah. It plunges into you, it's right into the arm that's holding the axe. It hits you at the top of the bicep, shoulder. Just the pain of it, numbing pain, excruciating pain, just makes you lose your grip on your axe and you drop it. Roll D6 for me because you're standing at the edge of the boat. I want to see if you drop in the water. On a 1, 2, or 3, you'll drop in the water. You roll 1 dice, Raz. Right, okay, yeah. And then when you let it go, it just it lands in the water over the side of the deck. The one that stung you kind of like pulls itself away, and it rips like the ass end of its stinger out of its body. The thing is still stuck into your shoulders. It pulls away, and it kind of sprays its bloody ichor everywhere as it does so. And it's almost like a limping action, but it's flying well enough, and it circles around to come again. The second one that didn't attack you at all goes straight over past you, lands on the deck right next to Shiki and Fee. And Fee is just kind of like towering over you as you're dragging Shiki away. What would you like to do?
Well, nothing. Of course. I'm gonna try to do it as quickly as possible to not give him enough time to land a hit on me or Shiki or Naoki. So I'm gonna try to outspear him.
So a quick roll. And you can use magical, right?
Yes, I have a chi as magical.
So before it manages to land on the deck, you're going to like lunge forward with your spear.
Yes, with my sword, I'm gonna go for his legs. So as before he touches the deck, I'm gonna try to cut his legs.
Okay, and you're going to successfully like slice one of the legs off, and then when it does land on the deck in front of you, it loses its balance and kind of like topples over and falls in against one of the mast, the sails, and it starts just like shredding at the bottom of the sail in a panic with its claws. And as it does that and it's kind of spinning around, Naoki is trying to like scurry away on his hands and knees because he was just like lying on the deck to this point. But he manages to like wrap one claw around the back of his neck and like picks him up, and then it starts to try to take off, although it's having trouble because it's wrapped in these the mast and the ropes. And Jam, you would probably see this if you want to do something.
This one's trying to pull now. Get with you say?
Yeah, it's trying to get away with him.
Are you trying to kill Naoki again?
Always.
Every session, dude.
Every
Let's see.
encounter.
And were any of you, or can Jam see what any of them beneath Naoki? Or if it drops Naoki, will he just slam against the ground and die?
If it drops Naoki, he'll just hit the deck. It's not managed to take off with him quite yet.
Ah, okay. Then yeah, she'll try and take a shot at it. And even if like it's at the wing or something, just to make it fall to the ground.
Sounds fair enough. Pick your approach and roll.
I think quick before it gets too high up.
Sure. You can have advantage since V managed to lop its leg off and get it caught in the mast.
Cool. That's 7, isn't it?
Yes, which is the same as the 8 anyway. It already has a serious wound. Yeah, I think you're able to just quickly lay off a shot. Going for a sort of body mass where the wings meet the body. And you're able to sink an arrow in there, and the thing lets out this raspy, shrill kind of shriek. Let's go now, okay? He just falls to the ground gently. He's only, a few inches off the ground. And this thing shreds and manages to get itself free. It can't fly, it can't stand upright, so it's kind of crawling around on 5 legs. And as it does that, because you're too busy concentrating, Jam, on shooting the one that you're shooting at, you don't notice the other one that's already circled around the boat. The crewmen are too busy refilling their rifles to be able to do anything about it. And it kind of just like swoops in from the side to get you. What do you want to do? You just catch it in the corner of your eye just before it hits you.
She'll drop her bow to the deck and draw one of the daggers and just try and stab it as it approaches her.
Another quick, sounds like.
Since I've been watching this whole time, could I also help with that?
Yes, you could intervene at any point.
Yeah. I think I'll just also attack it, maybe give her a jam advantage or something.
Yeah, that would work.
But I don't really want to reveal my location.
Sure, so you can have 3 dice Jam.
Double advantage. Damn,
There you
didn't
go.
even need that.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, it swoops in. Drac gets his dagger, just kind of like throws it at the same time as you like pull your dagger out and stick your dagger up to slice it. And the barbarian standing beside you, this big massive fist just comes left hand fist just comes slamming down at the right moment and crunches the thing's skull as it like flies into it, doubling the force. And the whole body seemingly just kind of like squishes up like a train crash up against the fist.
I think it'd be so quick that Jam would notice the fist, but not Draken's dagger.
Yes.
So she just like shouts "Thank you" up to him, and then reaches down to get a bow again.
Yeah, the
So
barbarian,
scanning.
the barbarian just like rings off his left hand, and then like reaches up to grab another arrow. Keep your wits about you, little one. As he draws again.
I'm trying.
So there's one more on the deck, and it's kind of, you know, around animal-like, on its 5 legs, hissing and shrieking. And it's kind of chittering of its mandibles back and forth as it's kind of looking for an escape route off of this deck. And it scurries up towards Raz, who's a bit nearer the front of the ship, but that has a kind of, you know, stairs and a raised platform to go up to the bow. Barehanded and stung, Raz, what do you want to do?
There's only one on the deck, so this would be a perfect time to go into a rage, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Is this the same one that stung me?
No, this is the other one. The one that stung you just got crunched.
Oh. How big is it? It's about the size of a person, right?
They're pretty tall, yeah. Like I said, when it's standing full height, they'd be about 6 foot. They're usually kind of hunched over, though.
I guess I'll just charge it and try to go it with my horns.
It's scurrying towards you anyway, so you're just going to lower your head and charge. Okay, give me a roll. All you got to do is hit it to kill it.
Would that be a forceful?
Yes. Yeah, you charge at the thing and it sort of like leans down to try and scurry underneath you, but it's, with its missing leg, it's just not quick enough to avoid your thunderous hoofs. The hoofs, they just like crush and smoosh the thing underneath. It's just a splash of the strange blood that it has up in your shins as you charge through the thing. Naoki just kind of like is turned around just in time to face you as you're like thundering towards him, and he screams and puts his arms up in front of him.
Stopping is hard.
Yeah, I imagine there's like a snapping, a creaking of the floorboards as you manage to like bring yourself to a halt inches in front of him. But his screaming will not stop for another 30 seconds or so.
What are you screaming about?
Hey, and he just faints, collapses. This is just too much for him now. 'Cause zero energy left.
How strange.
The screams and cries in the distance continue, the buzzing continues, but it gets dimmer and dimmer as your boat kind of catches the wind and starts to pull away at speed and put enough distance between you guys and the cloud of dust. When you are pulled right out of it, you can see just like the mass of bodies. There is a whole huge swarm of these things just steadily coming across the water from the other town. They're just like skimming across the very top of it, and the air pressure, the force, the beat down from their wings is causing the water to kind of the water vapor to kind of come up in a huge tidal spray in front of them as they do so. But for those of you who have astral sight or such, you'll be able to tell that there's a magical element to what they're doing as well. But it's a very strange, alien kind of magic that you're not familiar with. But there's not much else you can do as you pull away to the mouth of the River Gota and start to head upstream. As your Medalla comes over to Raz, takes a look at the wound on your shoulder with the massive stinger still sticking out of it. He pulls a huge blade out from his side and just like gently scrapes it out of your shoulder for you, and then calls for one of the crewmen to attend your wound.
Huh. I had forgotten about that.
You should try not to move too much, my friend. The blood will carry the venom through your system.
It'll only make me stronger.
It does that big smile that he had before with you and laughs. I admire your attitude, my friend, but carelessness will see you short-lived.
I'm already over 100. Any longer is just a. Have we decided what the great ancestor's name is for the Minotaurs?
No.
Any longer is just a gift from the great ancestors. From Moomin.
It's cast a glance towards your two colleagues that are unconscious. Although I imagine Shiki's kind of coming round now.
Is Naoki just frothing at the mouth?
He's just extremely
Uh,
pale looking.
what did I miss? Okay, are you okay?
The poor lad, he died of fright.
Lily Jam, is there anything you can do to help?
Well, not if he's actually dead of fright. She comes over to look at him.
He has a pulse.
Does he even appear wounded?
No, he doesn't look winded. He's just browbeaten and, like I said, scared half to death. Overcome with grief and anxiety.
She just shakes her head.
He's alive. Well, let him rest.
If he was a PC, his track would be filled up with stress.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually ever gotten injured yet.
Oh no, he did.
All in the
he got
stabbing
stabbed.
that he got healed from.
Yeah. Wait, what about you, Shiki? Something must have knocked you out.
The last thing I remembered, we got on the boat and then this fog arrived. Oh my god, Raz is wounded.
Huh? Oh, I had forgotten again.
One of the crewmen picks up the head, a decapitated head of one of the insect beasts and holds it up to you all. And he says, "My lord, what should I do with this one?"
You can immediately faints again.
Everyone just looks at him. This is just a dunk.
Just the dog.
The
He
barbarian,
turned his head, sees.
the barbarian starts laughing and says, "Throw it overboard. I don't think this one can handle anymore."
I don't think your frail human constitutions could handle a feast of it.
Back a second.
You normally eat them?
Oh no, they taste terrible.
Oh, well, so does half of what you eat, I think. Come to think of it, have we seen Grintuk?
Goblins don't taste good.
Of course.
Sorry, Amazon.
Oh, we were just talking about eating the insects, and then eating the goblin, but neither of them taste good.
Yeah, Grintuk, after you threw him on the ship, he just sort of disappeared. Of course, as ever, when the battle ends, he just kind of appears from one of the cabin doors. And he has a little toothpick that he's using on his teeth. And he walks over to Shiki and just kind of points at him. He's like, "What's wrong with that one?"
He's died of fright.
For the second time.
Oh, good. So we're not in his service anymore.
But he might have another few lives.
Yes, I'm learning that humans are very similar to cats.
Don't taste the same.
Is there anything you haven't eaten?
Dryad?
He gives you a hungry look, Jam. And he goes, "Well, now that you mention it."
So it's like a foot away from him, she pulls an arrow back and a bow at him.
He drops his little toothpick and he's like, whoa, hey! I didn't say I was going to eat you right now."
At least let something else kill me first.
Well, yeah, of course that's what I was going to do.
Yes, the fear of betrayal ruins the flavor.
Then I'll be sure to stay afraid. Now, do we need to worry about more of these attackers? How often do these swarms come?
Medalla sort of rubs his chin for a moment. Well, this is the furthest west I've ever seen any, especially in these numbers. This is somewhat unprecedented. But going by past experience, we should be okay the rest of the way south.
And how long a trip is it usually?
Okay, so he's gonna indicate. So the journey, all
It's okay. He can tank it.
the trip all the way south of the river is about 10 days before you get to the Merillet Caliphate. But Mandala will indicate that they do not usually sail all the way there. They usually stop off at several stops within the Azote lands because they are headed home just now.
Have you noticed any of the great tribes on the river as you've passed recently?
You're talking about the Minotaur?
Yeah, of course.
No, we do not see many of your kind this way. Of course, you used to roam in great herds across all the lands, but along the Gota, no, there are not many Minotaurs these days. And within the Merillet, you're a very uncommon sight indeed.
Yes, the tiny ones are always worried we're gonna step on them. I swear it's only happened a few times.
Yes, they're not fans of the slavers or the mercenary companies at large.
That too.
But you'll all be more than welcome with the Azote. You're heading to the port of Tablat. And of course, you'll all be welcome there as my guests. Should you wish to stay or continue on your journey from there, I'm sure you'll be able to find those who are travelling south along the river.
Giving the goblin another side eye, Jam will tug on Vaz's arm and just say, like, get down a bit lower, will you? And she's gonna pull out the stinger and see if he's actually been poisoned.
Well, the barbarian scraped out the stinger with his knife already, so it'd stop it pulsing more venom into him. But yeah, the wound is kind of frothy, kind of dark green frothy.
Do you know if you're immune to death as well?
Well, I'm not dead, so. But it does hurt, so maybe. But probably not.
Grant took sort of shuffles a little closer to overhear the conversation.
Well, are you wounded much aside from this? Did more than one of them get you?
Yeah, as he turns around to check, you just see like that wound that's been on his back, but was on his back last time you saw it, is still there, just slightly worse.
I forgot I didn't really help that in the forest, did I? Well, I'll give it a try. And I shall cure wounds on him. That did not go well.
You're terrible at this, man.
I am really bad
ever,
at
man.
it. It's because I'm not on ground anymore, okay?
Don't you have medicine? Couldn't you try that instead?
Yeah. We'll go with that then. After I fail the cure.
Let's see. Spell goes off, but has unintended effects or consequences.
Should I roll my defense to see if I'm immune to the consequences and they only affect Jam?
I mean, it could be like she's trying to draw from the earth and she's on a boat.
Yes.
So it's just she's too far away and just takes stress from Well, stress or pain, I guess, from the exertion.
But you failed to heal it, so I think you failed to heal it because, for the reasons you stated, you can't draw the energy you need to pull it out of him. But the venom is working through his veins faster than it should be, probably because he charged and got his blood up in the battle. So you're going to feel the pain, Raz, not just in your arm, but you can feel it going like all down one side of your body and starting to go across your chest if you want to take a pain.
I guess I will. Take the bleeding, so I'm -1 forward.
Sure.
This gets worse and worse.
But still very shaky. But also, I do have a tag in medicine, so they'll be able to use some supplies to try and patch him up.
Sure.
And do I roll for an approach for that?
You would roll to treat him with them, yeah. Is it just supplies, like poultices and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like a skill roll then.
Then I'm going to hopefully be careful with that.
I think you'd have advantage because you're a medicine tag. Because, I mean, anyone can apply them. But the medicine tag's going to make you better at it.
Okay, this is my redemption then. Nice. I succeeded at healing someone.
So he can reduce all of his pain, and you can remove 1 wound. So Grintuk has had his little smile's been getting bigger and bigger as this has been going on. And then when you start applying the stuff to it, and Raz indicates that he starts, the pain's fading, I'm starting to feel better. And that smile of his just drops, and then turns into like this malicious kind of grimace right at you, Jam.
He just gives them like a really smug look back.
He says something under his breath in Goblin.
You're bad at magic. Raz just says while nodding his head.
How a smug look disappears.
But you healed my wounds, so
Maybe a few people used living teas for their boat. I don't know. I need land, okay? Now, is there anything we can do for these two? She gestures to the two on the ground. Or the deck.
I say we throw him in the water. That'll wake him up.
Moments before they die, sure.
Of course.
Oh, what happened? Oh, Saraz. Oh, you're wounded. Huh.
What's the last thing you remember this time?
Cloud of dust, swarm. I had a weird dream that I woke up on a ship. Oh, the same ship. Did I fall unconscious again? That's just mighty strange.
Yes, unfortunately, you died of fright. You're a spirit now.
Oh, I feel like a spirit. Oh my god, Naoki, are you okay? Is he okay?
He's died of fright, unfortunately.
He kind of starts to come around meekly, like rubbing his head, with his very croaky kind of voice. Oh my lord, I don't feel so good. Are we home yet?
Oh, okay. I'm sad to say, my compatriot, that we're not home yet, but hopefully we can drop you off somewhere pleasant after this sea voyage.
See? Oh no.
Up river.
There's nothing left in him, so he's just retching now.
If
Are the other two okay as well? They didn't get knocked off overboard, did they?
I haven't seen that little old man in a while.
I don't see
Old
Master, I
man?
don't see Fee. Or Lord Dracan anywhere.
He's right next to you.
Just turn
If
around and
he's
there.
behind me. It's like, I don't see Fee anywhere. Right behind me.
Yeah, he's just sitting behind you on one of those crates.
Meditating or just sitting there?
Just sitting, listening to Raz and Jam and everybody talking. Just being quiet.
If you're okay, speak up, will you? Have you seen the can anywhere?
Oh, Rakan. I'm sure he's somewhere here. Just about to come out.
And Grant puts his fists on his waist and he's like, "Where is that sneaky bastard?"
I don't think I moved from the shadow of the mast this whole time.
No. That's the way no one can see you. You're cloaked in darkness.
But the man seems to have a weird habit of disappearing whenever trouble arises.
Grentu's like, "Yeah, I don't trust him."
You know, Naoki could learn a thing or two.
Right.
And Grentu's like, "Naoki's here?" And then he suddenly just kind of like notices him sitting there.
Just retching.
Why are we dragging this one along? Everyone just pauses for a moment, like, why are we dragging this along?
Emergency rations. Meat shield.
He does make a good meat shield.
So the crew are like very efficient, very practiced, you can tell, very organised, and they quickly, assume the roles they need to assume to get the ship moving as quickly as possible. They're all dressed the same, they look well nourished, well fed. They're very efficient at communicating to each other exactly what they need to get across in short terms. The lower deck, there's like 6 guys on either side rowing, as well as one's up deck navigating and manning the masts. They're already pulling down the torn mast and getting out materials so they can stitch it up and repair it, as well as pulling the rigging and getting into position and such. And Madala will indicate to Raz, you should take care of your ward here. They seem a little fragile. Come, I have a quarters you can take for the voyage.
Excellent. I will. We will rest until the next battle.
If you follow him, he'll take you indoors at the rear of the ship because there's like a raised level and cabins in there. You go in there and you go down a little stairway, and there's a couple of cabins, one on either side. It indicates you may use both of these. I'm sure my crewmen will not mind.
Did the others follow along with us?
If you need to, a couple of crewmen will help assist Shiki and Naoki to make their way if they're kind of unsteady on their feet.
I think Shiki will get cover pretty quickly because there's no like damage to him other than the sudden fall.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more just like the sheer terror just makes him fall unconscious of giant insect.
I just mean if he's still a little shaky in his feet or something like that from it, do you know what I mean? But they're there to offer help if you need it.
I think he's just blocked it from his memory, so he's now pretending he's completely fine. It's like, yeah, nothing's wrong. It's like nothing happened. It's like, I just fell unconscious for some weird, strange reason.
Yeah, that repressed trauma will be no problem at all in the future.
No, none whatsoever.
I imagine, Drac, you've been on this river many times up and down it. You'll be familiar with the route. You're kind of sailing upriver for most of the way, and then after about the halfway point, you're sailing downriver again. After you get past where the tributary streams and rivers meet and kind of power the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite common to take a land route over a large section in the middle, depending on the season, because it can dry up considerably, as well as like adverse weather effects and such. But the lands between here and the Merilet are considered wildlands, even the lands known as the Azote, because their settlements tend to be hidden inland, away from the river. They like their privacy. They're quite an isolated civilization. So as long as you're in the water, you're usually safe. But could you tell me one thing that you do need to look out for on the river that is a danger?
I guess it'd be something simple like poisonous snakes infest certain parts of it.
Yeah, not just poisonous snakes, but the most venomous snake known to man inhabits this river and these waters.
Yeah, so you best not going overboard. Just stay on the boat.
And you need to watch if you're sailing under any overhanging trees, because they sometimes can kind of just like drop out of the trees.
Sounds good to me.
But other than that, the landscape is some of the most beautiful you'll see, because it has this very mirror-like surface for most of the way of the river. Either side of it in the banks are verdant, greenery. It's lush with vegetation and life. Beyond it, to the east is desert, and to the west is a sort of dry land, which eventually leads into forests and wetlands and rainforests. But some of it's quite stunning, and there's like although a lot of it's kind of lowlands. As it gets kind of to the higher altitude, you're talking about mountains and steep cliffs on either side of the water. Yeah, so I mean, it can be a very enjoyable journey, assuming nothing happens.
Assuming.
And
Assuming you aren't okay.
the quarters you're shown they're small, but they're quite well furnished. The beds, there's like 2 beds in each of them. You could actually fit a third one in there if you were to organise blankets and stuff. You have a small writing desk, a wash bucket, and as you'll find, the ship is quite well stocked with spices and foods. There's also a lot of wine that's been transported in some of the barrels. Because the Azote have developed a fine taste for things like good wine and good fruit.
So after surviving a great battle, should we have a feast?
I missed a
Agreed.
great battle. I
Oh,
do
you-
apologise, my compatriots, for not aiding.
On you go, Fee.
He agrees with Raz. Raz, you're right. We should have a feast. This is beautiful. I think this is one of the beautiful places I've been to, aside from my hometown. Indeed. Let's eat something, Raz. Because who knows what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Yes, we could all die in a glorious battle.
Right.
Where are you from?
I am originally from this continent, in the Far East, from the mountains of misfortune. My hometown has lived for a very long time, reclusive, without anything or anybody visiting because of the stories covering those mountains. But misfortune fell. I'm the only one left.
Alright, the Mountains of Misfortune. Is that where those giant rocks keep falling out of the skies?
Oh no, these mountains. They're in fog, in constant fog. Except, well, where we live. And people avoid the mountains because of the stories of banshees, ghosts, witches. But other than that, it's quite safe and it's very beautiful. I hope I can come back one day.
Yes, I can imagine a great return on where you can fight all of your village's enemies and slay these banshees? I don't know what that is.
You see that again, Phil?
Exactly.
You're just breaking up.
Unfortunately, I don't know who killed off the village. I don't know who would be the enemy. We were never really in contact with anyone. I don't know why would somebody even want to kill the whole village. For what? I've been asking myself that for a very long time, and I'm afraid I will never get to the answer. So I'm trying to forget about that. To leave it rest.
So then, do you wish to found your own fog-shrouded village without ghosts and monsters?
I don't know, Raz. I don't know. I I have those monsters and the enemies. They're mostly on the inside, you know, inside of our heads. It's where all of our friends and enemies live. One day, maybe. I like this for now. This is beautiful.
Wait, there are monsters inside of our heads? He just pulls his arm back and just punches himself in the face. Do you think that got it?
He laughs.
Jam shouts over, I'm not healing that.
Grinthook's like, it's a metaphor, idiot.
Yes, Raz. You know, my old master, he used to say that a powerful warrior, he will overcome 1,000 battles. But a master warrior, he's the one who overcomes himself.
Do you want to ask Raz anything?
So Raz, I've been acquainted with minotaurs. I must say, out of all monsters, beasts, people that I fought in my life so far,
I have
fierce.
no idea what you just said.
Am I breaking it off?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
What about now?
It's a little bit better.
Yeah, out of all enemies so far, the fiercest one would be the minotaur. I'll give you that. So I'm curious, Raz. What? Because I see minotaurs as mercenaries. Do you minotaurs have any other purpose than fighting for money?
Any other purpose, you say?
Yes.
Yes, we are. We have great shamans who are travel the land and rid it of the taint of the visitors when they inevitably die and move away. And then there are supposedly one tribe traveled far to the north to a different land and joined some great army, but we've since haven't heard much from them. I don't know what would be the purpose of the Minotaurs.
I mean, you don't need a purpose per se. They're just people doing their thing, aren't they?
Yes, but most of us just wander the lands, doing as we please, like any other of the any other race. though with a much greater ferocity and stubbornness.
Yes, I see. But like, I really believe not to that than just roaming the land, take the bidding from everybody else. Whoever gives more coin.
No, joining mercenaries is it's a more recent thing. Ever since some young minotaur decided to join a mercenary band about 100 years ago, and started shouting how he could get more fights than anyone else.
So let me ask you something else, Minton. What would be the fiercest enemy you fought back?
You say that again.
Who's the fiercest enemy that I've fought yet?
Yes.
It's a tough question. One moment while I think about it.
Imagine a montage in your head, and it's just all these people getting killed, gored, smashed, rammed, stomped, sliced, axed. Some of them just mysteriously sort of drop dead because Grinhook had poisoned them and you hadn't noticed.
I can imagine it's playing to Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture as well.
There was this giant statue. It kept asking me questions. So I punched it, but then it asked me why I was doing it, and I told it it's because I wanted to, and then it just fell apart.
And Grinhook picks up the Oracle of the Death Marches. That's the one.
Oh, interesting.
Grinhook's like, yeah, he wasn't supposed to kill it, but Minotaur's going to be Minotaurs.
It kept asking me riddles. I didn't know how to answer them.
It's an Oracle. We went over this.
I'm still trying to figure out what it means, though.
He just waves his hand, gives up trying to explain anything to you, and goes off to look at the kitchen. The galley.
So what was the oracle that asked you? What question?
It said something about you'll create a great army or something, and travel north to slay some usurper who was invading your lands or something. Something about some kind of dark sorcerer, dark lord, or
How's
But it's
that a
all-
riddle? How's that a
It
riddle?
I couldn't think of a riddle off the top of my head.
It's not even cryptic.
It's just telling him exactly what to do.
Yeah, it's like
to understand.
At the third attempt, the Oracle just gives up and just explains to you in plain English what it is he's trying to tell you, and you're still confused.
And he still beats it up afterwards.
He couldn't figure out how he's supposed to get across a great ocean because minotaurs can't swim.
The irony being, you've been on a boat like 90% of this campaign.
Yeah, no, it's just an oracle telling him that he just joined the great quest to slay Malekith, and then
So, Drac and Shiki, given what your mission is there anything you want to do or look at or ask when you're on this ship?
Well, I believe I'm just following Drakan till he gets to his place, the place of his clan, so he can barter for information. So I'm pretty chill, just like waiting. As long as we're going, I'll be probably when I see Drakan again, ask him if he's going the right. We're still going the right direction.
And
That's
I'll
about
just I'll just be like keeping an eye on the party because I kind of know what these journeys entail, being on one myself already. And I'm kind of doubting that we're gonna make it. from what I've seen so far. So I'm just keeping to myself because I don't think we're gonna make it to the end here.
You certainly don't think they are going to make it to the end with
Yeah,
you. Is that what you
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. Like I don't think they're gonna make it to the end with me. So
I mean, yeah, you've almost had 2 entire parties wipe out. You're just avoiding making connections to people in case they just die.
yeah, I don't think they're gonna make it. So I'm gonna keep my distance and make sure we're going in the right direction and whatnot.
So with Jam as well, I mean, Jam's quite magic sensitive, right? You've got astral sight and stuff.
I suppose so, yeah. I've not got a tag for it, but I've got magically talented.
Right, okay, so with some focus or something, you can detect it. And you're, obviously, because you've been with Drac the longest in this story, having travelled on the road for quite a while before he's actually made it to the city where you met everyone else. And you've obviously picked up on the demonic side of his nature, but given that you're like a creature of the Fae and he is half elf, have you kind of like picked up on that side of him as well over this course of time?
I mean, I think when they met, she just assumed he was a human. But she's probably picked up on it as we went along. But I feel like she's just kind of turning a blind eye to the demonic side rather than actually dealing with it.
Is it possible that she might interpret it as, in the same way that the demonic power is like infected and killing off the Fae, that something similar has been happening with him, and that's why he's like the way he is? Because he's obviously not explained it to you.
Yeah, I think she's kind of just like setting aside and going, like, I'm not going to approach this because, like, either it'll turn out he's not trustworthy or it'll just be like more bad news. And she kind of wants to trust him because, like, if he wanted to do anything, then
Could have already, yeah.
yes, yeah.
I think as the journey goes on down this river, and it is very much a natural, untampered kind of setting, despite the fact that you're not, on the ground where you're naturally supposed to be, just the energies of nature and the Fae in this kind of environment are very potent, and visible and tangible, and I think that kind of reflects in the way you might perceive Drac along this, although maybe he doesn't feel it himself, or I don't know if Drac would feel a slight kind of comfort in this sort of setting.
Oh yeah, this is like going back home after a long time being away. Kind of
Yeah,
feeling.
yeah. So for you, it's that, but there's also like another element to it, and it is that sort of like elvish nature within you. That's the Fae side of you is more relaxed in this kind of environment as well. That isn't touched by civilization. I was just thinking like Jan would probably pick up on that, sort of aura off of you or something.
Mm-hmm.
So what about your hosts or the crew? Is there anything you want to speak to them about? When you want to have a big feast, like on the first night when you've made enough distance away from Nightcross, they'll set out a big huge table in the galley below decks, and this may be surprise to some of you that the crew are actually sitting at the same table as everyone else, just as equals, because there's been so much slavery and such going on so far, but these guys don't appear to be held in any sort of enslavement. They seem to be treated as equals.
Shiki's very, very pleased to see this kind of environment.
Even to the point that Medalla doesn't sit at the head of the table himself, although he's clearly the one funding this journey. The captain of the ship is the one that sits at the head of the table. And the crew are obviously not as haughty as he is.
I guess I would talk to Madala because I need to know exactly how far he's going down this river.
Yes, explain to you that he's going to the main port for the Azote, which is Tabat. And that is as far as he's planned to go, because he was working alongside the mercenaries. He left the company some time ago. But now that they've been routed, he's decided to take his fortune from his travels and to go home and just to set up and start a family. This is, as far as he's going, is going to be this main port, which is the only Azote settlement you will find on the river itself.
So then, gotcha. I'll ask him if he knows any other like ship captains there that we could get passage from.
Of course, there are many traders coming to and from the Merillet. You should not have a problem finding one within a day or so of us making port there. I have a great many friends in Tapat, and I can certainly put you in touch with someone who should be able to take you the rest of the way, whether it be across land for a length of time to another village on the river, or straight onto another ship that can take you south.
That'd be much appreciated. Rather have someone at least friendly than some stranger.
Of course. Any friends of the warrior Razaluru are friends of mine.
As long as the next ship has big enough doors. Just starts laughing.
He'll laugh as well, bang on the table. Some of the crew start laughing as well. And he turns to you, Drakan. If you don't mind me asking, small one of the south, what was the purpose of your journey north?
You mean originally north?
Yes, I'm
Like why?
assuming you're going home now. I just wonder what it was, what your business was up north.
Sort of a personal nature. Let's say I had to help some people.
Ah, so you're a person with a good heart. Always willing to help a friend.
Yes. Something like that.
What of you, Razalura? What was the purpose of your journey? Now that your company has turned over to the side of this sorcerer.
I will finish this contract and then travel around to find the scattered tribes. And then I will challenge all their chiefs for leadership, and then go on to find the next tribe and continue on.
It's very obvious Medalla is like enraptured with the thought of, battling other warriors to take supremacy over the tribes. That's something that inherently appeals to him and his civilization, the way they do things as well. You really do value competition and survival of the fittest, and especially when it comes to feats of physical strength. To which point he looks over to Naoki and Shiki, and as the contractors for Resoluro's current employment, I have to ask out of curiosity, what is the purpose of your journey when you're hiring him to come with you?
Oh, we've hired him as a bodyguard to protect us until we get to our destination. As you can tell, he's a mighty fine warrior that we have great respect for.
Of course, undoubtedly. But you're also heading to the Merillet along with your friend here.
Lord Drakan is our guide. He is the one leading us to our destination.
I see. Is this a trade journey and an embassy of some sort? You don't seem to be carrying anything with you.
We had some trouble at a port when arriving. We lost most of our luggage there. But no, we're here for a certain mission. We're in seek of something, and information may be found at this place Lord Drakan is leading us to.
Oh, a mission? Is this on behalf of your kingdom?
No, we're hired. We're under employ.
So you are also in underemployment.
Yes.
Oh, that is interesting. So who is it you're all working for? If you don't mind me asking.
Our employer would rather keep themselves more discreet. Sorry to say.
Ah, how mysterious. So if I'm assuming I cannot ask what it is you're seeking.
I'm afraid not, my good friend.
Well, now you've piqued my curiosity, and I'll be left wondering for the rest of this voyage. How troublesome that will be.
I'm sure we can find many other things to pique your curiosity.
Yes, or I will plough you with wine until you reveal your secrets. Ha 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 ha. He snaps his fingers and he's like, "Cabin man, please, more wine." He's gonna down
I'm just gonna slowly push my wine cup away from me.
He's gonna like. I mean, he's saying that, but it's more like an excuse for him to just get hammered, and he starts just like downing jugs of wine by himself, and starts regaling you all with stories of his travels up north, battling bandits and small armies. It seems by himself at times, as he was out north, and he was hired. He claims by the Emperor of the Imperium himself to seek a magical sword.
I'll just be pouring him more drinks every time his glass is empty.
What was so magic about the sword?
Apparently, it was a spirit that inhabited the sword itself, and it was a spirit of great power. And this sword, the Emperor sought it, or rather, his chief wizard sought it, as a means to help secure this, the security of the Empire against magical foes.
So, did you find it?
Alas, I did not. I had a great many adventures, and he'll tell you about a crystal dragon he freed from a curse in the Wrathy Desert. He'll tell you about a dwarven stronghold that he helped liberate from an army of beastmen. But eventually, he was all alone, his colleagues having died or abandoned him, and he spent months travelling in the wastelands of the north alone, and became lost, and eventually had to just admit defeat and turn around.
Okay, maybe I'll drink with him a little bit while he tells that part.
Well, the wisest warriors know when to fight, but the wiser ones still know when to retreat.
Indeed, I didn't know what. I pondered on it for a long time, but I did not wish to spend the rest of my days lost and alone. There's no glory to be had dying in those circumstances. I had been told several times the location of this supposed blade, but each time there was nothing to be found.
Who would be the spirit in the sword? Whose spirit would it be?
I don't know. I heard many tales in my roots, and each of them described a different person: a warrior, a poet, a king, a simple farm boy of great untapped potential. And somehow they were bound to this blade. And that should this blade fall into the wrong hands, it would grant the wielder a great power, and therefore the wizard of the Emperor's court wanted to secure it before anyone else could. He must have foreseen the return of Malekith, but I feel somewhat guilty that I wasn't able to aid them in their fight against him by securing the blade that they looked for.
Well, where's the last place you had information on it at? Maybe one day we can go back and get it. I always do appreciate shiny things.
He laughs and jostles with you, and he's very drunk at this point. He's drank enough that would kill 20 men. He's down a couple of barrels by himself at this point. And this is the first night. He's like, "Yes, I'll be happy to share the location with you once you tell me the secrets of your mission." Ha 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 ha.
To gather information about some magical artifacts.
Oh, many of them there are in these lands.
Yeah, we don't really have a solid lead. That's why we're going to where we're going to pick up some information.
Well, if you happen to come across the brass tablet, you will tell me, won't you?
A brass tablet?
Yes, for centuries my people guarded one such artifact, but it was stolen from us.
What's so special
That
about
tale
a
sounds
brass
mightily
tablet?
familiar, my good friend.
Oh, so you've
You
heard
see,
of
my
it?
family For you see, my family was also guardians of a brass tablet.
Really?
Yes, we guarded it for almost 100 generations.
He's like cartoonishly incredulous at this revelation. He's like, your people were in charge of guarding the tablet. And he looks at Naoki.
Naoki's of the lower, going to whisper to him, lower classes.
He's a lower class. So he is. Are you telling me he is a slave?
No, he is of the servant class.
Naoki, who's had a few glasses of wine himself, kind of murmurs something to himself about slavery.
I think servant means slaves who get paid.
They're free slaves who receive payment, adequate payment for their services.
This doesn't seem to sit very well with Madla, and he kind of pushes himself back from the table from a bit. I cannot condone those who believe in chattel and enslavement of others. My people were once slaves themselves until we overthrew our masters, and we will not have it in our kingdom.
Well, we disapprove of slaves in our clan, in our family. We do not use them. We disapprove of the practice of slaving.
Yeah, they call them indentured servitudes.
No, they are paid. They live their own lives. They are free to quit at any time.
Do you want to make
Our family rewards very well, which is why many people do work in service to our clan.
Could you make me a roll, Shike, as you use your diplomatic skills to kind of carefully prance around this topic without upsetting anyone?
That's what approach would I take? Careful.
I would think careful sounds the most tactful one, yeah.
Okay, it's 7 with careful.
Yes, there's definitely like tension in the room, not just between yourself and Madala, but also the crewmen. You can feel, you can eyes like daggers on you, and even Naoki at one point is kind of like looking to you like this isn't going well, but you manage to kind of navigate your way out of it, more or less without violence erupting. But it does kind of like sour the mood at the table. And following that conversation, everyone starts to just like finish up and, say that they've got to get back to work or they've had too much to drink and they're going to lie down.
Well, our brass tablet was stolen not 5 generations ago. How long was the brass tablet in your clan stolen?
I shouldn't really speak of such things, but it was recent enough that the wounds are still fresh.
That's in my clan. We live in exile for our homeland until we can reclaim the tablet. I've been taken there only 3 times. I've taken there only 3 times in my entire life to see the land of my ancestors. Since I was born into the self-exile.
I've also been away from home for far too long, so I can relate to your pain there, Shiki. You should speak to the high priest in the Zoti temple. Perhaps you can strike some common knowledge about these happenings.
I will take you up on that advice, my good friend.
And now, and he kind of stumbles to his feet and knocks over the chair as he does so. I believe it is time to sleep.
You've done an excellent job to kill the mood. Now there's more food for me to finish.
I was this close to getting information about that sword out of him.
It's like downs the last jug of wine, and then like claps and bows to you all, and then leaves the room.
I don't think going after that sword would be such a good idea, Lord Drakan.
Well, I gotta do something after I'm done with you lot.
That sword is a cursed blade.
So, not like I'm going to use it.
You know, I think he
Even
did
those
have-
who hold it can be are conquered by it.
I'm not
So
going to be
to
holding it.
speak.
It's going to go on a mantle on myself.
You know, I
You know,
think he
this
did
story
have-
sounds familiar.
Sorry, Jam, what
Yeah.
you say?
Wasn't that? Oh, sorry.
You know, I think he did have another few casts of wine if he wanted to try again.
Maybe another day. Tonight's been ruined.
Isn't there a great treasure hunter in this northern place you're from? Would he not have information about this sword?
Oh, I'm sure he might have rumors or something, but this guy actually chased it, so he can actually eliminate some of the rumors. That's what's important.
I think I think their name was Jeff.
Cough, meta, cough. Yeah, most of you realise that the sword he's talking about is the sword that Phil's character was in a previous campaign.
First blade. and don't touch.
All things collectible must go on myself.
A sword-shaped
Dude.
shadow in your room where it should go. Yeah, so Medall's going to retire for the night. What about the rest of you?
You know, that should be a very cool sword. It's just invisible, but it casts a shadow.
I think Shiki will call it a night. Although he's not as tired as he expected he would be at this point in time. Like he's had some extra rest in the afternoon that normally wouldn't have had.
All this talk of brass tablets, does Russell recognize anything about brass tablets from his people's history?
No, you guys haven't fucked with that stuff.
Okay.
I guess we can go back to the room and set up like a hammock in the corner somewhere, so I have a place to sleep that's not the floor.
Yep, you'll
And then
find.
call it a night.
Yeah, you'll find most of the crew are sleeping on hammocks themselves between masts and stuff. It is a very warm environment, so even sleeping on the upper deck isn't uncomfortable. You're obviously just more exposed.
That's totally okay with me.
I'll stay on the upper deck to keep watch.
I imagine it's more comfortable for Raz to be on the upper deck where there's more space as well.
Yeah.
And Master P, he's not gonna go to sleep. He will admire the stars and the natural beauty, the wind, and the sound of the ship with the water. And then he will spontaneously fall into contemplation, meditation. Uh, I would like to spend some time in commune to be granted the vision of significance.
Ooh, okay. I had something written here for this. Sure. So, the image of the stars in particular for Fee, or is this something you got to roll for as well?
No, it's like while spending time in commune in form of meditation. I'm just granted the vision of significance.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So the stars in particular remind you of the stars back home in your village. And you'd be sitting up. So the dojo in your village where you practiced was on top of a hill at the top of a very tall, steep staircase set in stone, where you would travel up there. And you're reminded of when you were boys, you and your best friend, who was also training. He's about the same age as you, and you would carry buckets of water over your shoulders up the stairway because that's what the master wanted you to do as part of your strength training. You're reminded of like being up there at night, sitting on the roof of the dojo with your friend, just like watching the stars, and you saw a shooting star across the sky, but it wasn't just like any other shooting star. This one had a fiery redness to it, and you can remember or recall the both of you wondering what the significance of that was, because you've been told many times before the stars are the deities in the sky, and this is them racing each other or battling or whatever. But the significance of this one, particularly for you, was this happened on the night of your birthday. And this was the first time that you realised that your friend who was training with you was kind of jealous of you, because he made a remark about this would happen on your birthday because you're the special one. What was your friend's name?
The friend was John.
Jam.
Let's go. Let's call him Lin.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Lin.
Can you type it for me? Because I can't make out what you're saying.
Lin, like Lin, was it?
Yeah, Lin.
Lin. Okay. Yeah. So Lin, same age as you, same build as you. As far as you were aware at the time, he was just as skilled as you. You know, but that was the first time you noticed there was just a kind of hint of jealousy and any kind of indication you thought that you were being treated differently to him. Clearly, he perceived that you were getting some sort of extra special treatment for some reason.
Well, the melancholy surrounds me. I feel odd because in a long time my belly is full with good food. I've been surrounded with people that I feel safe in a beautiful nature. I probably smiled first time in a while. And now this. Why is this now? I ask myself, why am I going through that stuff now in my head? Why did that pop up? Why this start now? What's the connection?
You find yourself, wondering, did anyone survive your village when it was attacked before you had to leave? And if they did survive, where are they now? Are they looking up at the same stars as you?
Well, I'm probably through the night, not sleeping, just contemplating, looking at the stars.
Alright. So if no one's got anything else in particular they want to do on the ship this night, who wants to roll the dice for the journey?
I guess I will, since I'm keeping watch right now.
So just a flat 2d6.
Excellent.
Yes. Yeah, so it gets late. Fee is in contemplation. The others are sleeping. You can hear, the sounds of everyone kind of groaning and stuff in their sleep, but more above everything else, you can hear the snoring of Madala, his massive form, creating a snoring sensation which vibrates the whole ship. If there was any need for stealth in your approach down this river, it's completely lost because of this. But it's a calm night, a still night. You can hear like monkeys and birds in the trees on either side of the river as you kind of just like sail southwards. You've not even gone so far. You're maybe like 30 miles or something downriver from where you set off. Actually, during the night, it's probably a little further than that. So you're not into the wildlands good and proper yet. But as you're like keeping watch, Raz, on your own, with just a skeleton crew of a handful of the other crew members manning the ship and steering it, yawning as they do so, you can hear like a whistling sound, and it reminds you of those little forest sprite creatures you encountered before with the blow darts. And then you can feel the wound where you were stung in your shoulder just surges with like a stinging pain again. Can you roll your defense for me?
Do I have advantage against them?
No, you will not. You're going to take a pain and a stress. You instinctively reach up to feel your wound where it's hurting, and you just assume that Jam has failed to heal it properly yet again. But when you reach around to touch the wound, there's something sticking out of the wound, small and long and thin. It's some sort of long spike.
Alright, I'll cry out loudly in pain and miss something important. Or make a mistake.
Well, I'm thinking the biggest mistake you could make would be to fall overboard.
Yeah, especially since Minotaurs can't swim.
Sure, you let out a loud cry, and then a sploosh as you fall into the river. One of the crewmen yells, "Man overboard!" I think Fee, you're awake, you'll notice. Drac, you're on top level, you would notice right away. When the crewman like grabs a big stick and runs over to the side to try and see where you are in the water.
Would Shiki wake up to the loud mooing noise of distress?
I mean, you could roll to notice.
Yeah, I'll roll to notice. I think that's fair.
I guess I'll go to the side and pull out some rope from my supplies, and since I got better eyesight, maybe I can actually see where he's at in the river.
Yeah, you can see him fall into the water. He's submerged for a little longer than comfortable before his head pops up, and then but he's splashing around. He's not swimming, and he's starting to be left behind by the boat as it glides past him. Although the men pull the rigging and pull down the sails to try and bring it to a halt.
I guess I'll tie the rope to the railing on the ship or something.
Shiki, you'll wake up because something has woken you up. Are you doing this quickly, do you think, Drac?
Yeah, then I don't really see any other option if he's just flaring around. I guess I'm just gonna have to like jump in after him with the other end of the rope.
Yeah, which you don't really want to do. So let's say you're doing it quickly. If you want to give me a quick roll.
Yeah. Let me see what my modifier for quickly is. +1. So 2d6 +1.
Yeah. You're able to get that wrapped around the edge of the boat quickly and throw it over. And it just kind of flops into the water right beside where he's splashing around.
Well, no, because you said he was just flapping around, so I actually jumped in to get
Oh,
the
you
rope
went in.
around him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't want to, but if he's just playing around, I didn't think he would actually grab the rope.
Okay, yeah, okay, so you jump into the water. If you tied it and then jumped in, yeah?
Yeah, I tied it and
Okay,
then
you're
jumped in.
taking it with him to get him. Alright, I get you.
And I'll wrap it around them so they can pull us in.
Okay, you dive into the water and you start like tying around them. Then you see the telltale sort of wake of an elongated snake swimming across the surface of the water, not far from the two of you.
Perfect.
This is the infamous Deathstalker snake.
How big is it? Is it bigger than me?
No, it's actually quite a small snake. It's not more than a meter or so in length.
Oh.
But it doesn't need to be big because
No.
it can kill 100 men with just one bite.
Alright, now that I'm being held onto it, I'm just gonna hold my arms out like I'm waiting for it to get close.
Oh,
I will
okay.
try to capture it. I'm thinking a net.
Okay.
I not wasted one supply of entry gear. So.
Okay, so you're wrapping the rope around him. He just kind of opens his arms and just floats. And then you're reaching and pulling a net out.
Yeah.
I think this is another quick, because it's a matter of doing it before it gets close to you too.
Yeah, before it gets to me. Would anything help me? Like athletic or combat reflexes, anything like that?
You have a large flotation device in the middle of a river.
It's not really combat, so I don't think the combat reflex would.
Would the agile help me by chance, or if not, I'll just roll. I was just seeing if I had anything to help me out here.
Nah, I think it's just a roll.
Ooh.
You got anything that might give you a reroll for that?
I don't think I have anything that would help. Like I said, I got professional or traveler, so I don't know if that would help
before
me.
the most venomous snake known to man attacks you.
I got always ready, but otherwise, no.
When it reaches in reach, I want to try to just carefully snatch it right below its head.
I think I want both of you just to roll defense.
Alright.
And your armor's not going to matter.
So just be 2d6 plus.
How would I get +1 for endurance?
You will get +1 for your endurance, yes, because that helps you. +1 if you're trained, +1 if you're agile or athletic.
Yeah, I got agile, so that's +1. I don't know. Would fighting technique even apply to this?
Yes, because you know how to parry and move
Okay.
and avoid. Dodge, that's what I was looking for. With an 11, you are going to be fine. With an 8, you're going to avoid it.
But as it goes to bite me, I want to try to grab it.
Well, I mean, since you go to the consequence thing, I'll say you don't grab it. You go to grab it and it just dives underneath the water. But you both manage to avoid being bit. At that moment, there's another sploosh in the water on the opposite side of the boat. And you hear one of the crewmen shouting again, "Man overboard!" And someone starts ringing a bell on the deck.
Is it Siki?
So yeah, Shiki, you kind of woke up not really knowing what the noise was that woke you. Naoki is below you, or above you in the bunks, wherever you slept, snoring away heavily.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
that one of the crew members saw me jump over and the rope's tied, so they know to pull this rope up.
I'll say Jam, no, sorry, Jam, Fee could have. I don't think the crew members would have.
At the point the bell's ringing is when I finally arrive on deck, like still rubbing my eyes. Shiki's just, oh, what's going on here?
So, Fee, you
Ah.
would have seen Drax jump over the side, and then what'd you do?
Well, I would look how to help them. Probably help the crew pull them back on board.
Okay, so Drac does have the rope around the two of them, so you're just like on the banister with a crewman, the two of you trying to pull them back up on board.
Yeah, should I roll forceful?
Yes, please.
Since the crew is helping, do I have advantage?
Sure. So that's a 5.
That's a 5.
I'm very happy.
Okay, so Fee, you and the guy are tugging on the thing. You are pulling them no problem. I mean, there's two of you. The mentor is heavy, but you're strong. You've got this chi you can channel and stuff. But something, you hear like, tuk, and the crewman lets out a little yelp and then just topples over, face forward, into the water in front of you. You look over to the shoreline and something scampers between two of the trees. Humanoid figure, quite small. Can you roll a defense for me?
Is lamellar armor effective?
Yeah, your armor will apply, yeah.
That's a success.
Yeah, as he topples into the water and splashes, you look up, you see this figure, and then from the opposite side of the ship, something whizzes past your head, just like enough to cause your hair to kind of blow with the passing wind. It just like shoots right past you.
I'm gonna shout to, since they already sounded the alarm, shout to everybody, up in the trees to fire the muskets. I'm gonna again take the rope because the Minotaur is drowning, so I'm gonna try again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
To pull them in.
yeah, it'll take you a little longer because you're doing it by yourself and exerting a lot of effort. But there's a lot more, to you than appears, and you are able to like pull the two of them out of the water.
Well, I think I asked that question originally because once I feel that he's being pulled to safety, I guess I'll go after the other guy who fell in the water. Or now there's two guys in the water apparently.
Well, no, that's the guy you heard kind of splash, and then there's going to be like another one that would splash after that. Shiki, that's when you kind of get up to the top deck, and that's when the bell is ringing.
Yeah, so I would have let go of Vaz when I
And
feel
get
like
the other
he's being
guy.
pulled.
Yeah, you swim. Swim a little bit over to the other guy because there's a snake in the water. You don't want to leave him down here. And you like grab him and shake him, but he doesn't move. He's like face down in the water, and you turn him over, and you can see there's this like 8-inch spike just stuck into the side of his neck, and he doesn't seem to be breathing.
I guess I'll yank the spike out, and if I can get a hand on the boat or get up close to the boat, I can just climb up it.
Yeah, you can spider crawl, so you can just get back up there. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if Fee's seen you spider crawl before, but Fee's probably going to wonder how the hell did you get up here when you appear with this guy? And you just pull the Minotaur up. What about the rest of you? Shiki and Jam.
Well, Shiki still doesn't really get what's going on. It's like emergency bell. People going out. It's like, what's going on? And just asking around for information. Maybe you start seeing like Raz getting pulled up over the edge of the boat.
Yeah, you'll see them doing the activity they're doing, and one of the crew members like comes up behind you, Shiki, and like puts his hand in the back of your head. He's like, "Get down!" and like pushes you to like get on the deck with him.
I think Jam will
What's
be in
going
a
on?
similar situation. But also, I have enhanced hearing, so can I try to work out what's going on from that, or is it too noisy?
I think you can hear everything that's going on. Everybody shouting at each other, the splashing of the water and such. Shiki, as you turn to the guy when you both of you hit the deck, he's like, "We're under attack. There's something in the trees."
Would a little light help you in this?
Yes, very much so.
Shiki will draw a sustained light talisman and channel magic into it and launch it into the air. So it should leave like essentially like a very bright light in the sky for a while.
Yeah,
To illuminate the entire area.
I don't think we need to roll for that. You throw that in the air, and it's like a flare going off, and the whole area is lit up for everyone just after a blinded second of their eyes adjusting, and you can see on either side of the river there is a.
It's a sustained light one, so it wouldn't be a large burst. It would just, as soon as it gets up, turn really bright.
Yeah,
And just like,
but I mean when
flicker on a
it
light.
I mean like when it initially just comes on you, it blinds them for a second before their eyes adjust. Sure, and it stays up. You can see on either side of the shoreline a number of lizard-like creatures, small, hunched over, with very spiny-looking sort of scales. A number of them have kind of like blow darts or little bows and arrows. Some of the others have like spears attached to their backs. And when this light goes off, they all sort of like dive into the underbrush to hide.
Well, there's the enemy.
One of the crewmen shouts out, "Halishi! Halishi!" and starts ringing the bell again. You can hear the footsteps of and the moving around of men in the cabin, grabbing weapons. What do you guys want to do?
Can I cast a spell
Yeah, of course you can.
if no one else wants to do anything first? Cast Phantasm on one side of the river.
So this is a big illusion, right?
Yeah, illusion of something terrifying. Can I do that basilisk type venom monster we fought in the other last campaign?
Sure, the big giant six-legged reptile creature thing.
Yeah. I didn't want it to be anything I've seen this one because people might put two and two together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a 2d6 plus however much mana I spend, right?
That's correct, yeah.
I'm gonna put all my mana into it.
Oh, okay, so that works.
I didn't need to do all my mana, but I wanted to make sure it worked.
For everyone on the upper deck, this massive reptilian basilisk creature manifests as if it's just pulled itself out of the tree line, and I'm guessing it lets out a kind of bestial roar. You can see like all the underbrush and the leaves moving as the lizard creatures kind of like scurry away in different directions, retreating in fear. But of course,
it's pretty much just gonna chase that side of the river.
yeah, and the rest, but for the rest of you, as far as you're concerned, the basilisk just appeared out of nowhere as well.
Cover your eyes.
Is that the least?
Would astral sight make me know it's an illusion?
You could roll clever to see if you interpret its illusion.
Okay, cool. +1. Nope.
Nope.
I'm completely believe it's a basilisk.
Real
Well,
as
I
day
don't
to you.
know. Wouldn't something that looks like a basilisk that you can just look at its eyes and be turned to stone still turn things to stone by looking at them?
No, because it's an illusion. It's not actually a basilisk.
It's not a basilisk.
People might
it's
freeze up
the
and
illusion.
like fear. Psychosomatic symptom, like they stare into its eye, they freeze up and fall over.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
they
you might
catch
be
it.
so terrified if you have that knowledge that when you lock eyes with it, you just instinctively freeze up and feel rigid.
But you guys are assuming it's going to be looking at you. I have it chasing the lizards, so it's going to be looking at the lizards,
Yeah,
the little lizard people.
But they might just be paranoid enough that just the fear of that happening causes them to like freeze up, cover their eyes, hit the deck, whatever.
We have to kill it and eat it.
Because whatever you do, don't look into its eyes.
Of course not. Those are the best part.
The crewmen are all like instinctively turning away and covering their eyes with their elbows. But we need to get the
And-
ship out of here.
What is on the other side then? If the basilisk is on one,
Nothing.
nothing. No, that's amazing. I thought they were attacking both sides.
They were attacking both sides, but there's no basilisk on that side. They
Oh yeah, but I mean,
but they
the
had-
other lizards.
yeah,
still
they
there.
had when the light went up.
Right.
The crewmen are like fumbling around, trying to not look at anything at the same time as trying to get the sails down again, because obviously they'd pulled them up to stop for the people that fell overboard.
I suppose I would help them with the sails since I can actually look and I know I'm not going to get turned to stone.
Yeah, you're like, here, let me help you with that. And the crewmen, concerned for your safety as well, is like, no, you must shield your eyes. If you see it, it's going to turn you to stone.
Yeah, it might. But we need to get out of here. We all might die. So let's just get to work.
All right. Still covering my eyes. I want to ready my cannonball sling.
Oh, this is going to go well.
Oh my god.
I want to look towards the direction where I think I got shot from, and just start winding it up to fire.
I love it. This is a very you thing to do as well. Okay, so you're going to have disadvantage, and it's forceful.
And then does my sling skill cancel the disadvantage out?
No, because the sling skill's got nothing to do with like seeing where you're aiming.
All right.
Like whatever you hit, you're going to hit well.
Forceful or careful?
Are you being careful or are you being forceful?
I'm being careful because I'm covering my eyes.
Right, well, we'll be careful then. Which I'm assuming is what you're worse at anyway.
Oh no, it's forceful and careful at my best too.
Okay.
An 8.
It's not bad. Yes, you're going to successfully launch it in the direction of the basilisk. But of course, in doing so, you turn your back to the other side of the river, which doesn't have a basilisk, where the lizard folk let out another volley of spikes and arrows, and one of them's going to strike you in the back if you want to roll defense.
I'm guessing my armor would work for this one. Since
It
it's
will,
not.
it will. You're going to take a pain and a stress. Shaky and jammed. Either of you want to do something?
I think I'll just help with the trying to get the ship moving again.
So you and Drac are going to help the crew with that. I will just roll for the crew. User giving them advantage. Oh yeah, with you two helping, and Drac not being blinded like everyone else. User going to get the rigging down, full sail, and the ship is very quickly going to just like pick up speed and start to accelerate south. Resoluro launches, probably like peeking between his fingers, a cannonball off in the direction of the basilisk, and you hear a crunch as it hits one of the trees.
Ha! I think I've got it.
and then thump, something hits you in the back.
Ah. So who's next to me?
Fee, because Fee pulled you up from the water.
I'm gonna freeze up for a moment and put an ally in danger. I think I was just gonna fall over on top of Fee.
So thunk hits you in the back, and you fall over forward sideways, crashing on top of Fee, pinning him against the edge of the boat.
Raz, you awake?
You just hear him snoring.
Oh no.
So he's got you kind of trapped against the banister at the edge of the boat, Fee, and you're just like looking over into the water because that's all you can kind of do as his weight has you pinned down, and you just see this snake about a meter in length coming up the side of the boat.
My hands are not usable.
You can wave your arms around, yeah. It's just your chest, your body is kind of like pressed against the banister.
I'm gonna try to grab whatever I can, a piece of wood or something, to throw it, to shoo it away.
Okay, yeah, so you're like reaching out your arm, fumbling, feeling around, just grabbing the first thing you can, and then using that to flick it off the side of the boat. What do we want to roll for that? Quick, maybe? Again.
Quick time. That's it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. So you're going to grab something, you're going to successfully flick it away and splish back into the water. What is the thing you grab that would be disadvantage to someone else? Oh, the thing you grab is that man-sized bow that the barbarian was using to shoot things with. And as you use it to flick the snake away, the string on the bow snaps.
Oh no, I'm in trouble.
But the boat takes off its speed, the snake is dealt with, the basilisk hasn't turned anyone to stone. And as you speed away down the river, the things flying through the air from the riverbank, there's like another flurry of them, volley of them. Some of them hit like the back of the ship or spear through one of the sails, but nobody else is hit. And you just like take off into the night, back into safety.
Oh, that was a close one. Who would expect a basilisk to appear in the middle of the river?
Raz is sleeping, his saliva is getting all over my cheek as he snores.
You hear the loud snore of Medalla, kind of just like snort as if something's caught in the back of his throat. And then he goes back to snoring in rhythm again. Crewman like comes to shake your hand, Drakan. Say, thank you for helping us there. That was a close one.
Yeah, certainly didn't want to stay there any longer than I had to.
You seem to be quite confident around that creature. Have you ran into one before?
Oh no, that was my first time. I didn't even really know what it was.
Oh, you've got to be more careful. If that thing just catches, locks eyes with you for just a second, you're going to be stoned forever.
What kind of monster does that to people?
It's called a basilisk. It's an unholy creature, but I've never heard of one around these parts. That is extremely worrisome.
We were traveling. We came through some pretty weird stuff I ain't never seen before either. All this demonic corruption going around.
I want to warn the citizens at the next port that something like that is running around.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I better make sure that everyone's okay.
Right, I'm gonna go check on my party members.
See, the crewman turns around and they spend a few moments checking the guy that had the thing inside of his neck that you brought back up from the water, but he's gone, he's dead.
Can I examine the needle that was in his neck?
Sure, it's just like a 8-inch long thorn is what it looks like. and maybe it used to be the fang of something because it's like hollowed out like a venom tooth might be.
Like, could I see if there's like any poison in it or something? Like any leftover? Like just to see what it was?
Sure, give me a clever roll. I determine it.
2d6 plus 1. 7.
Yeah, there is like a sort of sticky substance, sappy kind of substance in it almost, which you're guessing must be some sort of toxin. But the exact nature of it, you're unsure.
Is there any, like, because they shot a whole volley of them, are there any like this on the deck that might not have emptied out the payload?
Sure, I mean, you get spider crawl. Yeah, you can crawl over like the back of the ship and you pull one out of the wood. And it's still going to have a few drops in it you can make use of.
Hell yeah. Pocket that thing.
As you crawl back up the side of the ship, Grintook's standing there. He's like, "What do you got there?"
Why do you want to know?
I am also a collector of strange substances.
Is that so?
Yeah, you wouldn't happen to have another one of those, would you?
I only found the one so far.
Well, I might be willing to, do you a favour in the future if you could help me out just now.
What kind of favor can I expect from someone like you?
I could be useful in all kinds of ways. Maybe if you want someone to discreetly, disappear. I think you find as goblins have many hidden talents.
So, you want this for an undisclosed favor in the future?
He looks a little affronted at the insinuation there. I might be many things, my friend, but I am not without honour.
No, that's not what I was getting at. I could ask for almost anything, is what you're saying, and all for this little bitty thing.
Within reason, yes.
I'll give it to him. I'm intrigued now.
He nods as well, says, "Thank you." And he takes out, he's clearly got a whole, like, setup in that little pouch of his. He undoes it and it's like a bat belt. You know what I mean? He's got all kinds of, like, capsules and things for drawing and injecting liquids and substances. All kind of, like, little vials and potions and stuff.
He's an alchemist, basically.
Yeah, and he quickly, like, drains all the liquid, all the sappy stuff out of the thorn. And then he takes the thorn itself and, like, secures it in another pouch.
I think I know exactly what I'm going to ask you for in the future.
Grintook then approaches you, Raz.
I'm still just passed out against the railing or wherever Fee pushed me off to.
So he examines you. If anyone's caring to notice what he's doing, he's going to examine the back of you, and then he'll turn to you, Fee. As you look a little stuck there, buddy.
Oh yeah. Any way to help me? Can you call somebody to let me out?
Yeah, I'll get right on that. And he turns around and just walks away.
I'm assuming I saw all that happen, so I will help Fee get up.
Grintook leaves the thorn in Raz's back and then doesn't do anything to help Fee with Raz, yeah. But you can come over and just pull him off easily enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Hearing
Cheeky will come
Grintook's
help
voice,
because he's keeping an eye on the goblin.
hearing Grintook's voice, Raz will just snore the word food.
If anyone is near the entrance to the lower deck, they'll be able to hear Nauki shout out from below. Is everything okay?
Everything's fine now, Naoki. Just rest up.
Okay, sire. Just checking. And you can tell from the muffled sound of his voice, he hasn't like even opened the door to the cabin.
As soon as Fee is released from Minotaur's grip, he will inspect the bow. If he's gonna try to see how damaged it is.
So the wood of the bow itself looks fine, but whatever the string was made out of, and it must have had a very incredibly strong tensile strength because of the weight of the the pull he had. But it's snapped.
Well, I'm gonna store the bow somewhere at the back of the boat where it was. I decided it's better if I tell him in the morning after breakfast, after he had coffee.
sure you want to wait till he's in a better mood. Okay.
After the coffee, that's important.
Yeah, if there's nothing else anyone wants to do, they'll put more men on watch for the rest of the evening, just in case. But you'll be able to bed down and get some rest until sunrise, or however long you wish to sleep for.
So what is Vaz looking like wound wise?
Very wounded.
But if you rest, you'll recover your pain and one stress, because you can rest for the whole day. That's not a problem. That applies to everyone.
Right, but he's been racking up wounds that haven't
Yeah.
been healed properly.
Yeah.
So how many does he have still?
3.
You did cure the one earlier, didn't you?
He said
Oh,
3,
sorry,
yeah.
just 2 then.
Oh, just 2? Okay, never mind. I'm good.
I'm sorry for being a useless healer.
You're good at healing as the spell casting. You don't seem great at it.
Yeah.
Like dice games. Yeah, so I mean, I think we could skip ahead to after the morning coffee, if you want, because there's nothing else to really deal with unless you have something you want to deal with.
I'm good skipping ahead, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good to skip. The one thing I wanted to deal with was a poison, and I just traded that away to a goblin.
Yeah, so you just go get rest. Because he's the one that got the best night's sleep. Medalla is up before everyone else, doing push-ups and exercises on the top deck. Of course, the crew inform him about what happened, and he's a little annoyed and no one woke him because he missed out on a glorious battle with the basilisk. And it probably takes him some convincing by the crew to not immediately stop the ship, turn around and go looking for it. But you get the feeling the captain has spent some time with Medalla previously and seems to have some good sway with him in that regard. And is able to kind of talk him down. That it might be too dangerous for all these other weaker people that are accompanying him. So he's a little put out by that when he sits down for a hearty breakfast with you all. As I said, the ship is fully stocked for this journey, so there's plenty of food to go around.
And Fee is gonna be like when everybody's sitting at the breakfast table. Oh hey, Marella, I didn't mean to, but I think I broke the string from your bow.
Everyone goes quiet and there's a sound of a glass dropping and smashing in the distance somewhere. He looks up from his meal. My cherished family heirloom bow.
I am sorry. I don't know what to say, Mr. Medella.
Pushes his chair back from the table and stands up. The bow that my great grandfather crafted and used to overthrow our slave owning masters with.
But the bow is fine. It's just a string. I mean, string can be replaced.
You mean the string from the hair of my great grandmother? The twined together in the prison that she was kept in so that they could free themselves?
In that moment, he goes blank. His face goes white.
Walks over to you and he's just towering above you as you're sat at the table, and he looks down, like straight down at you.
Is there any way we could somehow fix it?
I think there's, and he puts in a very kind of deep gravelly voice as he says this, I think there's only one way to resolve this issue, my friend. And he puts his massive hand on your shoulder, and it's so big that like the fingers are around one shoulder and his thumbs stretch around your neck onto the other shoulder. We must engage in mortal combat.
Hearing that, Raz is just gonna wake up and smirk for a second.
I had to ask. If it was so important, why was it just left out on the deck?
He like throws a glance over to you, Drakan, and then he has this big, massive grin on his face, and then he can't contain himself any longer and just bursts out laughing. When he eventually stops laughing and gets his breath back, he just kind of like shoves you free. He says, "It's fine, my friend. Don't worry about it."
He looks confused around the room, how the crew is reacting.
Sorry for ruining your joke, but he just looked so terrified I had to speak up.
The rest of the crew at the table are killing themselves laughing as well.
No fighting, and Raz just falls back to sleep.
Wait, but it did seem like a very strong bow. Was it not anything special?
Oh, it's a finely crafted bow from my people, but such as the pressures on the string during battle, it's not uncommon for it to snap afterwards.
And as everybody's laughing, he made a joke at me. So, Fee, filling up for it, he throws a joke. Oh, that's very good, Mr. Medela. You got me. I feel very relieved because I didn't want to hurt you. And then laughs again, expecting everybody to laugh with him as well.
And that's when everyone else just stops laughing like dead. And Medalla just looks down at you. It's like, what was that, little one? You defeat or hurt me?
Oh, I thought we were throwing jokes. Was that a bad joke?
And he smiles and bursts out laughing again. That is hilarious, my friend. He starts pouring you a glass of wine for breakfast.
Yeah, Fee laughs and taps his shoulder. Yeah. It's an enjoyment, thank you.
Medalla goes to sit down again and mixes his jug of coffee with his jug of wine and downs it in one. Is there anything else anyone wants to do or that to cover during the rest of the journey? Because otherwise I'm just going to make another roll to see how far we get.
There's one thing I want to try to do.
Yep.
I want to try to capture that snake with bait on a fishing pole.
Okay.
I'm gonna tie Grintook to the end of the rope. And just dangle him in the water.
I'm assuming you're not asking him for this, you're just grabbing him and putting him on the end of the line.
I had a good idea, now I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna ask him.
You're not actually fishing using a Grintook as a bait. You're just holding Grintook and he's the one fishing.
Yeah, in the water. He can swim, probably.
You want to roll 2d6 for me? You're not going to have a modifier to it, it's going to be Grinthook's modifier. So he will survive, because his priority is survival, not catching the snake. He will survive, but he will fail to catch a snake for you. But he's probably going to spend the next few days constantly being submerged as you try to get the snake.
Of course.
Hours at a time, you're just like dunking him in the water, subjecting him to torture.
Grintook, have you found any yet?
3 days in, and he's like drenched and coughing, spitting out like leeches that he's swallowed. No. No such luck.
Maybe we'll find some in the city.
At one point, he just gives up. He's not even like fighting it or being smart mouth about it. He's just like dejected.
If Shaky sees him coughing out leeches, like, could you bring me some of those leeches? They could be quite useful for medical treatment.
He picks one up between his fingers and just throws it at you.
Landing nowhere near the ship deck. It's just like a little higher next time. Before Shiki walks away.
You humans are still using them?
Oh no, I'm just teasing the goblin.
Ah, I thought it was hundreds of years ago again.
You know, I was questioning why he wanted that poison, but now I'm starting to see why.
I hope he doesn't succeed until, after we get to our destination.
I'm gonna help him catch a snake. I want one too.
I just wanted to eat one.
Yeah, you can eat that after I'm done with it.
Yeah, I mean, you can roll, I guess, careful for fishing, because it's a time patience thing.
And they're not dying to the snake thing.
Well, that's also feeds into careful, yeah.
I have no modifier, so just a 9.
Is your priority not dying or catching the snake?
Catching the snake.
So in that case, you will catch the snake, but where you're going to have trouble is actually handling it after you've caught one.
Right.
So you roll defense for.
Does all my stuff apply, or does none of it apply? The armor not apply, I mean?
Your armor won't apply because you have to use your hands.
Alright.
Ooh.
Okay, well, I guess you successfully killed the snake and managed to pry its jaws open without, pricking a finger on a fang.
You don't kill it first. You gotta milk the poison out, then kill it. Otherwise, it produces less.
Sure. Well, you managed to do it without incurring injury. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Grant Tuka is just kind of watching on with amazement as you extract the poison from this creature.
And once I kill it, I'll give it to Grintuk so that he can, make Raz happy or whatever.
Oh, well, I'm going to do a little thing here then. He's exceedingly pleased you're throwing him the snake. It's like, yes, thank you. I'll make sure it goes to its most potent potential.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Is that a second favour you'll see now?
They're like poison besties now. Yeah, but over the next few days, is there anything anyone wants to cover?
I was going to do a wee fireside chat with Jam
Sure.
and get some more information out of her. Lady Jam, I do believe I've not properly thanked you for all the aid you've given to my dear friend Naoki.
Well, she goes to say he's helping us, and then pauses. He's our companion, isn't he?
Yes, and that's why I thank you. I fear he may not even be here today if it weren't for your great assistance.
Honestly, I think you should be more selective about who you hire. Naoki's... I don't think he's prepared for this, and Vazaluro's fine, but I don't know about a goblin.
Yes, the goblin is another bit of an issue, but I know Naoki's not up for such a mission as this. I'm trying to get him to someplace safe as quickly as possible, but everywhere we go, there just seems to be danger afoot.
Right on cue,
I do
Naoki
worry
kind
for his safety.
Sorry, right on cue, Naoki kind of goes, "Excuse me, sire," pushes you aside and runs to the edge of the deck and throws up.
He doesn't seem to do well with sea voyages either.
I'm not too fond of them either, but at least I'm not sick.
I can understand why one such as you would not be the most fond of travelling the seas.
So, had you met many dryads?
Personally, no, but my mother used to tell me stories. She had met dryads in the past. As you know, my family has great connections with the spirits and the Fey worlds.
And that's fire spirit you called upon before. Or These
yes.
spirits, do they want to aid you, or are they bound to you?
We have the ability to bound wild spirits, but no, we make deals and offerings onto spirits. Usually, we bless a small portion of their power into talismans, but this takes time, preparation. Sorry.
Well, I guess if anyone else had a fireside chat or whatever.
Or if Drac wanted to talk to Medalla.
I did. If this is like the last chance before the voyage ends.
Well, we'll be doing another roll, but if it succeeds, it will be the end of the voyage. Because we're getting in beforehand.
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to him about the sword again.
I'm sure he's going to spend most of the voyage exercising on deck, shooting things, fishing, like spear fishing, and telling stories back and forth with Raz. Oh, sorry, if Shiki's back, Shiki can do his.
Yeah, you can do his. I can wait.
Thanks. Okay. And now I've lost my place.
Oh, so they work for you of their own free will, basically.
Yes, our family makes contracts for spirits, make deals, where we give aid to the spirits and they give us their aid in return.
And I saw how you dealt with the demons. I thought maybe it was the same kind of magic.
It's the same kind of magic we use to make deals with spirits as the same ones we use while fighting demons, yes. They are related. Power of conjuration. One of the many disciplines of magic.
I mean, I felt it was more against their will. But that's a relief to know.
The most primal forms of it is to bind a spirit or a demon and force it into your will, which they aren't. But our family specializes in making relationships with spirits, having good deals with them, which helps bless us with much greater power than you would if you force a spirit in. Or at least in the long term. But this does come with many sacrifices. This is not. The great power we wield with spirits is not free, nor is it cheap.
And this tablet, is it? Well, is it something that you would actually give over to the professor when we get it back? Wasn't your clan meant to keep it?
We're meant to guard it until the time was right.
And that's now.
In true honesty, since I swore a vow to never lie to the spirits or those of their kin, I would have to take it home first. Take it to the family elders and seek their permission to give it over to the professor if we were to find the family tablet. But I would argue in favour of giving it over to the professor. I do believe that is what our family has been guarding it for the day that we can use it, those in need can use it to stop Malekith in his return.
And the elders, your father would have been one of them, wouldn't he?
No, he wasn't old enough to be an elder, but if my grandfather passed, he was to take his place. No, he was the war chief. He was responsible for leading us into battle, coordinating our forces, sending us where we need to go. That was his great responsibility.
And it'll fall to you
Although
now.
my eldest brother would be old enough to take his place, I do not believe him responsible or wise enough to do so. If my uncle should take his place, I may lose my position in the family. I have a great many worries at the moment. This.
That would trouble me as well. I need you to help me reclaim the Feywild in time. Once we're done with this.
If I cannot get the aid of my family, you will still always have my personal aid, milady.
I'm not feeling as if we're going to survive this trip, honestly.
Okay, hurls again over the edge.
I have great hope that we do, milady. You may not see it, but I see great potential in our allies.
You just look at Grintook, who's just been pulled out of the water again with like half a fish sticking out his mouth, which he spits out onto the deck.
Not the I know, whispered, not the goblin.
Excluding half of them.
Raz is
Oh.
like poking at the fish, like, is this a snake?
He just grabs it and just bites its head off. Hmm.
Razalura is great spirit. There's a savagery, but also a kindness in there.
As he picks up Grintook and throws him back in the water.
Well, I guess that is
Maybe a little more on the savage side.
No.
But
The goblin is justified.
oh yeah, it's the goblin.
Wow, racist.
No,
Well, it's not
this-
because he's a goblin. It's
goblin.
because he's
Him.
Gruntook, the goblin. He's him. He's proven himself not worthy.
I think if I had the Can's experience, I'd be like, no, the goblin's justified.
Lord Drakan has an inner darkness, a very powerful one, I will add, but he's resisting it. He's conquering it. I have great faith that
How long has he been
he'll help us come out
afflicted
of this.
like that?
What's that? Sorry.
How long has he been afflicted like that?
He's a half demon. He was born with it. There's an eternal struggle for him. One I do not know if he could ever be free from. But he is on the side of the righteous at the moment.
At the moment?
As I said, it will be an eternal struggle.
If he wanted to
I do
harm
hope
us, he's had plenty of opportunities so far, I think.
yes, his inner light is prevailing. As best it truly does shine, I will say. And the young man, Fee. An enigma that one is, but there's true kindness in his heart, I can see. True hero being born.
They both like to disappear a lot.
Fee has a trouble getting lost, I think. Drakan hides. That may be part of his nature, his upbringing. Last, we come to you, Milady Jam. Spirit of the Feywilds, blessed creature of the heart.
What of me?
He walks out of the room. That's the creature of the heart. Like,
Oh boy.
twirls his jacket around himself and does a 180 and walks away.
Gotta be mysterious when you're trying to lay your game down, you know?
Yeah, that I respect it.
Grintook, I don't think we're gonna catch any more.
He's like just spitting a fountain of water out his mouth and coughing. No.
Has he been trying to explain the entire time he's already got one?
Maybe we'll have better luck next time we come to this river.
Did you have something else you were wanting to say as part of that, Shiki? Or can we move on?
Yeah, I think we should move on. I was just going to be flattering up Jam.
Okay, so Yeah, Drax. So what did you want to ask Medalla?
Well, you can't just come right out and ask it. Got to ease them into it. So
Sure.
I'm gonna go and share some stories of my own up north with them. You know, all the monsters, me and Ricardo and the Stone Golem fight. I forget his name already.
Duradam.
Duradam. Yeah. Yeah. You know, give him a few stories. You know, get a few back and then bring up the sword. Like, let him know I'm specialized in information gathering. And if he really does want to go back and look for it one day, I can help out. I just need to know where he's already checked so I can cross that off the rumor list. You know.
Sure. I actually have a map here. Hang on. If this
You know,
ever loads up.
one day we'll go back and we'll fix his honor. We'll find the thing.
So he's going to indicate. I mean, he'll take you to his quarters, and he'll unfurl a map of the northern continent, and he indicates the Rathi Desert. The cursed city of Arakul came. He says this whole land was like infected by dark magic and became this deathless, this dead desert. And it's here, you know, he fought this giant snake and this giant scorpion and freed this undead city. And then he travelled north to the one of the dwarvish holds, where the dwarves were under assault by a great horde from the north of beastmen. And he led their armies to victory against them and freed the stronghold. He is now an honorary dwarf, and he tells you the title that they've given him in dwarvish. And then he describes how he went further north. Went through an underground passage. He was fighting monsters. He had a sidekick called Kif at this time, who was a manservant and a squire and a very brave one. He also met up with various other characters that he journeyed with north. One of them was a sentient slime creature. Another was a dark elf from the Underdark. And then he made his way across the Great Steppe. And beyond the Great Steppe was the Chaos Wastelands, which is just endless plateaus of ash spotted with mountains. And beyond that, the frozen wastelands of the north. And this is as far as he got before he had to turn south and travel back. The last indication he was told that the sword was deep in a cave in a mountain in the snowy Northlands, but he reached like a frozen ocean and it became unpassable, and that's when he reconsidered his options.
Oh, gotcha. Well, next time we can just take a boat straight to the Chaos Wastelands. Skip a bunch of that other useless junk.
I'm not sure if I'd be willing to undertake the journey again. I've resolved to, take my fortunes, return home, and start a family. It's important for our people to continue on, to face the adversities that this world has to throw at them. Especially if harsh times are coming, as is indicated by the rise of trouble in the north.
Well, if I find it, I'll bring it back to you.
That would be extremely valiant of you, but as much as it was my quest to retrieve this weapon for the royal court of the Empire is now destroyed. The Emperor's dead. The court obliterated. There's no one.
I wasn't going to give it to you just so you could see what it was actually like. You know, you spent so much time looking for it. You at least get to look at it.
Kind of gives you an eye of just like admiration for a moment. I've misvalued you, my friend. You're a man of great honour. You do your people proud.
Yes, sure.
I'm assuming you're heading south to go home. You're one of the Merrilettes, yes?
Yeah, that is correct. There's information that I must gather.
Yes, in search of one of these tablets. I'm assuming that's what you're looking for based on your friend was saying that his people have lost theirs.
Oh, the fucking moron. Something like that, yes. We are looking for A tablet.
It's a valiant, brave quest. As I mentioned last night, my people also were in charge of such an artifact. It was taken from us, stolen by treacherous, devious, unworthy, unhonourable thieves of the shadow. Creatures that can move in the darkness as if it is one of themselves. Disgusting, venomous creatures.
You mean like this? I'm just gonna set ourselves right in front of him.
Oh. Would you be doing it and then trying to like appeal to his the fact that he said you're honourable and stuff?
No, I'm doing it right in front of him to show him that just because someone can do this ability doesn't mean we're all evil.
Right, but what I mean, like, are you going to like use that as a way to convince him that you're not the same as the people that stole the things
Yeah.
from his people?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to roll clever for me?
I may or may not need this man's help in the future, and I'd rather not have to do this in front of him later on. What's my clever score? Clever +1. All right, let's do this. 9.
Okay, so I mean, his first reaction is to throw the table and chair and papers to the side and reach for his sword, and then draw it and demand like an explanation, because obviously you get the impression he thinks you're here to steal from him or to infiltrate his people. And then I guess you would just remind him about what he said a moment ago.
Oh, and I'd put up the fact if I wanted to do that, I had plenty of opportunities when they were sleeping.
Yeah, so I imagine you're able to, you know, make the case that, you know, just he shouldn't assume just because you have this power you're the same. And he did say the things he said about you a moment ago. So he won't try and kill you.
Not today, at least, yeah.
But there's definitely an air of mistrust there. Like, he's not 100% trusting of you. As well,
That's okay.
he shouldn't be.
He doesn't have to be. He doesn't.
So with that, sitting, resetting the table and being a little more guarded this time, he's going
I think
to...
I will. I think I will tell him like the full story.
Yeah, because he's going to ask you, what are you really doing here then? And then if you're going to tell him the full story, he'll come to more of an understanding.
But then I'll tell him, I'm telling him all this because I don't think the people I travel with are going to make it to the end, and I may or may not need help down the line.
Nods sagely, agrees that, no, you're probably right. They are not all going to make it through the end of this journey. Some of them may not even make it to the end of this part of the journey. And you both know he's talking about Naoki when he says this.
We both know that, yes. Poor Naoki.
But if it's a brass tablet of power that you seek, my friend, in fact, if you're seeking all of them, then you should certainly come with me to our capital and speak to the High Priest about the details of our tablet and how it went missing and where it may possibly be.
I was thinking the same thing when you mentioned it to Shiki yesterday about seeing your high priest.
But if you have these abilities, I'm assuming you know others who have your abilities. Do you have your suspicions about who the thieves may be?
Yeah, I do actually. I'm actually a little worried that it's my own people who might have stolen one of both of the tablets now.
I would tread carefully with your words in that case. But as you said, you've shown me to be an honourable person. I'm hoping you're not trying to deceive me, but I think you should share this information with our High Priest, and perhaps both our people can come to a better understanding as a result of it.
That would be the hope.
But I must warn you, if it does indeed turn out to be that one of your own stole the artifact from my people, the wrath will be great.
Well, depending on the situation, I may or may not help you get it back.
That is only logical, yes.
Well, he knows why we're looking for him, so obviously, like, I would need to use it first, take it back to the wizard dude.
I mean, he's not going to claim about what they would do or who ownership should be ascribed to in such a case, because that wouldn't be up to him. He's not in that kind of position of power. He's just an adventurer and a merchant.
Well, that was more for like his, like, if I didn't give it back to him immediately, he would at least know why I wasn't giving it back.
So yeah,
not that I intend to keep it.
Yeah, there's definitely a certain air of mistrust there because he knows who you are or who you're from, and
as he said, he should never trust me.
No, but it's it's like a sensible lack of trust. It's not an inherent mistrust.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you kind of barter that and come to agreement, or, understanding, it's going to say, right, well, let us not talk of such things for the rest of our journey. Let us enjoy the time we have just now, and we can consider these decisions later.
Oh, and the basilisk that everyone saw, that wasn't Mill. That was me too.
And he like bashes the table. It's like, damn it!
So you didn't miss no great fight, buddy.
Oh, I was so excited as well. A great prize that would have been. Well, yes. Okay. Well, I'm happier to know that I did not miss the opportunity at least.
Yeah, they're quite a bitch to fight.
Indeed, you must be a great warrior to have bested one.
I just step into the shadow and go hide. And then come back. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, Drac, you want to roll the 2 dice for me and see how the rest of the journey goes.
Oh, this is going to go great. Hey, it did.
It did.
Fucking finally.
For the first time this campaign, we've rolled a successful, peaceful.
This is the first time in like 2 campaigns I have rolled a good travel.
Alright, so
I think
yeah.
we got one, in the last year.
For the, you actually made good time, so you're there like at the end of maybe like 8 days. And it's a pleasant journey. There's nothing else that kind of crops up that gives you any trouble. You spend your time fishing and drinking and eating and relaxing in the sun. But as you get closer, within like a half a day's travel of your destination, the wind begins to pick up and the clouds in the sky thicken and become shades of red. Before long, like it's gale force winds twirling, spinning sand around everywhere. And everyone's having to cover their face with rags anytime they're above deck. You're able to make it just barely into the port before the full force of the sandstorm sort of like hits the area, and you are forced to like take cover in the ship for a few hours before it kind of lessens enough that the crew are able to start unloading into the docks. The port of Tablat it's not grand, but you can tell it's been here for a long time, and you can tell it's well maintained. And there's a number of vessels here, fishing vessels, merchant vessels, that are docked because of the weather. And it's hard to see much beyond the city because of the sandstorm around it, but you're told that it's desert mostly in all the directions, east, south and north. Medalla is able to secure you rooms at like an inn that you can stay at. And right away when you get to this building, you can smell the difference in the air from towns you've been in previously, because there's a lot of spice in the air from the kind of foods that they're eating. It's a very different culture and a very different palate than you're used to. Or some of you will be used to. But yeah, he's going to get you there and get you set up. And you aren't going to be able to travel anywhere until this weather subsides, and then you can decide what you want to do. But Medalla is going to make it clear that if you want to travel with him onward to the capital city, you're more than welcome to accompany him. but they will need to set up a caravan first, which is going to take some time. So what would you guys like to do while you're in this town?
How far out of the way is the capital from my original goal?
It would be a fairly, time-wise, a fairly significant detour, because you'd be going out into the desert, and then you'd have to travel back again.
So I guess that'd be something to talk to s6e about.
Yeah, can you put up the main map on the Roll20, please?
Sure.
Would I be able to get a spare battle axe out of the ship's armory?
Not at the ship's armory, but you could buy one from a merchant.
Alright, I'm gonna shake down Grintook to get some money.
So you're in Tab, Boat, and Tani Dalmar is the capital city.
Yeah. So I'm trying to send Naoki off so he survives, doesn't die.
Leaving him at the town we're at would be the best choice then.
No, there's no connections in this town for us. So,
Well, for the time being, well, the weather's like this, but once it subsides, there will be travel south overland and by river. And Naoki does not want to go by river.
but yeah,
I mean, that's not out of the way, but it kind of is because we wouldn't be going down river to get to it. We'd be going across land.
the Demon Hunter clan have done relations with Azote before.
They're an isolationist society. They don't really deal with outsiders. Their cities,
Yeah,
apart from this
that's
port, are like out in the desert, specifically so people can't find them.
Yeah, I thought so. So no connection. So I'd have to send him to another town down the river. You could say that the next trade port has a connection to the clan, so we could send him just there.
I imagine
You'll
anywhere.
probably want to go by land.
I imagine anywhere in the Merillet would definitely have connections because this is a civilization of like trade.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Getting to the Merillet. Getting him to the Merillet is the problem. Well, I can negotiate. I'll try and negotiate with a trader to try and escort Naoki down to the nearest like clan base further south.
Why don't you just ask Maudala to like hire him, take him in, let him earn some money that way, and then he can travel on his own.
Yeah, send
Because I
him,
feel
send,
responsible.
send him with the
You know?
barbarians. They'll toughen him up.
Or you'll die on the route.
As I said, I'm going to negotiate with some traders to send Naoki down his route. I don't want him to die at this point.
Oh, you did.
I feel bad.
Naoki's like, no more water, please. I cannot take any more ships. And I'm like, okay, you can go across dry land. And he's like, thank God. And then it's like a desert. He's like
The opposite of water, dude. We got
burning
you.
and sweating and just dehydration, and he's just like pure dying. And he's like, why can't I catch a fucking break?
The irony is, Shiki
no
would
more
definitely not think about. Don't worry, you don't need to go on boats again. I've got you a route of dry land. I just not think about the desert, like whatsoever. So, do you want me to roll to see if I can get Naoki?
Yeah, let's see if
negotiated?
successful and what type of person he ends up getting offloaded to.
Yeah.
Obviously, your
So I'd be
diplomacy.
very careful.
Yeah, your diplomacy will give you advantage here as well.
It's 3d6 plus 1. So it's an 8. Not a great roll.
Right, let's see. So our options are you set him up with someone good and trustworthy and honourable, but the route is harsh and dangerous. Or you set him up with someone who's extremely sketchy, but they're taking like they're probably going by river. They're probably going a safe route.
Well, I've 100% not thought of the route. I've thought of getting a nice person who will take care of him and make sure he gets there.
Sure.
So
So
they're going to go through the heart.
there's this
they're gonna go through
big,
the desert.
burly, almost kind of like Turk-looking guy with a big droopy mustache, dried blood on his sword hanging from his holster. And he's like, I'll take him off your hands. And he's like greedily rubbing his big podgy mitts together. And Naoki's like, but I don't want to go on a boat.
Okay, I'll make sure you get tricked by land. and find a nice person to take him by land. And he'll get there safely, just
Yeah, you find this
even more traumatized.
very articulate, well-spoken woman, and she's of like a desert people, and she's got the right attire for it. The dark skin, the black hair. She's got like a nose piercing with a chain that links round to their earring. And there's some like translation difficulties there, but she promises, to make sure he's well treated. He'll be paid for his time if he can help as a labourer, and they'll be taking the route across the sands.
And I'll give him the letter to Naoki that if he arrives there safely, they'll get paid in full of what's on the note and what's agreed upon in the contract.
Yeah, and what's lost in translation is, she says, but it is a highly dangerous route, and it is not uncommon for not all of us to make it.
That's lost in translation, and hopefully he makes it.
Yeah, you just turn around to him and just go, "It's over dry land." He's like, "Yes!" Then you make a note to roll for that later.
See if Naoki survives. But at least that's some of our issues done. I'll spend some time artificing some talismans while we're waiting, and that'll be me.
Yeah, I'd like to
Interesting.
restock on all my supplies and stuff too before we head
Yeah,
out.
if you've got a price list there, you can just buy whatever you need to buy here. They've got everything.
How much money can they get from Grintuk?
Did you not already shake him down before?
Yeah, but that was before. He said probably had enough time to steal more stuff and restock. His pockets are magical. They just have money in them.
Well, let's see, because I don't want him to be like a magic amount of money for you. No, he doesn't have any more gold.
Darn. I just cast a side eye at Shiki. Does anyone in this town have do I know anyone here who has dubious jobs for money? With my mercenary background.
Why don't you give me a clever roll? Can I get this echo? No.
Can I re-roll it? Try again.
For the background, yeah, sure.
It's even worse.
Yeah. People aren't sure of you at all here. There's not a lot of actual Azoti around, surprisingly. It is mostly other desert peoples who are kind of manning the port. And they do not have the same respect for a Minotaur that the Exotic have. You're kind of not commonly seen here, and you just have a reputation for being barbaric, slavers, mercenaries, and generally up to no good. So even people who might have, jobs of dubious nature to be done, they're not likely to trust you with it here.
You meet a few people and they just don't want you to work for them anymore. I guess I'll just use the gold I have to buy an axe.
Oh well then, I'll have to use my own money.
How long will it take before you actually just sell the goblin?
I think he'd probably eat him first.
Maybe by that point you'll have tied another goblin and been like, nah, not worth it.
Is anyone keeping an eye on Grintuk while everybody's at the bazaar marketplace getting their things?
I mean, if he was in the vicinity, I think Jam would be keeping an eye on him, but
Jam
like,
really doesn't trust him, right?
he'll go away to get her own, like, hopefully medical supply, considering how my healing's gone.
Yeah, you'll be able to buy anything you've got money for here. You can
As
give
soon
me
as I
a
realize, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like, while she's in the presence of Ginthook, she'll keep an eye on him, but otherwise, someone else will have to.
because he's going to wander off on his own, so unless someone's specifically spying on him, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, as soon as I realize he doesn't have any money, I'm just gonna walk away.
Yeah.
Shiki's too busy getting transport for now, okay? So
Yeah,
he's
that
not
makes
paying
sense.
attention to the goblin.
What about Fee? What does Fee want to do while you're here?
Well, I don't know what would he be doing. Um, well, he's gonna explore the town on his own, see what's it all about. Is there something interesting? Maybe something catches his eye. Should I roll anything for it?
Yeah, pick an approach, give me a roll.
Well, I'm gonna try to blend in, not not to be noticed so much. I don't want any trouble, so probably sneaky.
Sure, that sounds good. More kind of just looking about, listening in people without directly interacting with them.
Correct, yeah.
Do you have a background that might apply?
Oh, well, for that, not really. I have monk and veteran. I could only use lucky.
Could use lucky
Which,
if you want. We're nearly
which,
at the closing point for today, so it might be okay.
yeah. I'll use lucky, and who knows? Maybe I stumble upon something interesting.
Okay, so you're definitely going to overhear stories that the scarabs have been moving west, and that they might even be on their way as far as the Gota River here, because the army that has lain waste to the cube has forced the scarabs out of their lands, and they are heading west as a result of that, and that puts everyone in danger. You hear that the Omkeen's leader has died. The son that is taken over is assumed control, surprisingly, because he's very young, he's only 17, and he is already supposedly gathering their armies, not to battle the demon horde, or to battle the mercenary companies that have joined the demon horde, but he is looking to march them south to take over the riverlands and perhaps lands beyond.
That's very interesting information. Do I maybe stumble upon Greentook?
Oh, with our full success, yeah. You're going to come across Grintook, and he has been going and seen what looks to be some sort of medicine man. And he's just walking out of there, looking quite pleased with himself as you kind of like walk by. And he doesn't recognize you because you're in disguise.
Oh, hey. Uh, I'm not talking to a Greentook. I'm gonna talk to the medicine man.
Sure.
Was
Yeah.
so. What do you have in your store? What do you do?
So it's just a very simple building, like a square block, and it's just like one room. You can see like a straw bed in one corner of the room, and there's a little table and chair in the centre where he's just like sitting. He has some of his goods laid out. There's incense burning. There's a strong smell of spices. The medicine man himself looks as if he's blind. His eyes are kind of like white with skin growing over them, and he has a long greying beard. So he says, my son, I have many things on offer. What ails you?
Well, I just saw one lad going out of your store now. I'm curious. What was he here about?
Well, he was telling me he's been troubled by a shani, and he was looking for something to help ward them away.
So what that might be?
Jani? The Jani are the spirit people. Those that the spirits that inhabit the trees and the rocks and the sand and the rivers.
Oh, you mean the ones that blow darts, the lizards?
He shakes his head. He's like, "No, you're talking. No. Those are the Halashi. The Jani are. They are not as present as people of this world. They have one foot in this world and one foot in the spirit world."
The Shani, you say? Well, I've never heard about the Shani. But what does this guy have to do with the Shani? Are you sure he's trying to fend them off? What did he take from you here?
He told me he had been troubled by one of these spirits and that he needed something to ward them off. So I gave him a concoction that should help him do so.
Oh, and what if that thing is given to a person? What would happen?
A person such as you or I, it would be completely harmless. It's just a few herbs and metal shavings.
Oh, okay. I was expecting to be something else. Well, thank you very much for your help.
I couldn't notice your accent is a little strange, son. Where is it you're from?
Oh yes, I've been told that already a few times. I come from far east, south of the Riverlands, mountains of misfortune.
Oh, you're one of the mountain people. I wasn't aware that there were any of them left.
And then Fee goes blank. Well, what? How do you even know about mountain people?
For an old man like myself, I hear many stories from people who are travelling, and one as such was the slaughter of the mountain people.
Well, tell me more. Tell me everything you know.
I'm sorry, my son. I did not mean to startle you or surprise you with knowledge you weren't aware of. I assumed if you were from there, you would have heard these stories. But it is said that those who walk in the shadows slaughtered the people of the mountain in order to retake an item of power from them.
An item of power? What kind of item?
I'm unsure of the exact nature of it, but from what I heard, it is an item associated with dragons.
With dragons? Hmm. Well, that is strange. If we had an item, power of some kind, how come I don't know anything about it?
I'm afraid I can't answer that for you.
And these people that walk through the shadows, that sounds familiar.
There are many such
Ninja
tales.
look.
Yes, there are many such tales of these people in these lands. Thieves, assassins. I suspect many of the tales are simply to cover up plots by those in power. But there are enough of these stories around to believe that these are an active people of some sort.
Hmm. Well, I think I know one of them. Where could I find more of them? Where are they coming from?
His face is kind of serious when you say that. If you know of such a person, given your past and your culture, I would be incredibly wary of them and their intentions.
Yes, you may be you may be right. Well, thing is, I never really found out who did that.
You're an orphan.
Yes, I'm not sure if anybody else made it alive from the village except me. These last couple of days, I've been thinking often of my friend Len. If he maybe made it out there, if he's somewhere out there.
I can't say I've heard of another of your tribe in recent years, but I hope if there are more of you out there, and I hope you find them. Please, let me give you a parting gift to help you on your way. And he pulls out a little wooden talisman. It's just like a little wooden square. And it has some symbols carved into it.
What is that for?
It's a protective ward. It should warn you of imminent danger. Keep you safe from evil spirits.
Thank you very much. He bows low and takes the hand of the old blind man. Maybe I see you one day. Thank you.
He says something in presumably his own language that's like a blessing.
And yeah, Thief is gonna make a necklace out of it, and well, wear it around the neck.
It's a very simple looking thing. You know, people have these kind of talismans and trinkets all the time. Anyone else doing anything in town?
That depends on if we're going with Mandala to his capital or staying the path to
Yeah.
Millet.
Yeah, we'll need to know what your decision is about where you want to go when the storm abides.
That's your decision, Drakan. You are the guide.
Yeah, but the way I want to lead us to is the Millet Caliphate. That's obvious, but now we have another clue to a different tablet. Do we want to explore that option or no?
I would say taking the other lead would also help, especially if the stories match.
Right, that's what I was
Mysterious,
thinking.
shadowy figures raiding a place, stealing the tablet. Sounds similar enough.
All right. Well, in that case, then I want to use my life of servitude to see if I couldn't get some kind of mount or carriage for when we travel over land.
Yeah, sure. So Medalla is going to hire a caravan to bring him and his goods and his servants, his crew with him. But if you want to secure your own mounts, so you're not dependent on him, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I want to do that for myself. I don't know about everybody else.
Can I use my life of danger to say something dangerous in the desert?
You can do that now, or you can do it when you actually set out to the desert next time. It's up to you.
I'll wait until next time.
Spring on everyone.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay, so mounts are usually pretty expensive. Let me have a look here.
Yeah, I was looking at the gear list, but mounts aren't like overland carriages and stuff is listed, but not actual mounts.
Yeah, I think the cheapest one's the cart and donkey, which is like 60.
Right, I'm not looking for a cart or a donkey to be precise, but
I'll just look for a pair of large sand shoes, so I don't sink with my hooves.
I think let's see here. Are you just looking for like a camel kind of creature?
yeah, just for myself, personal use.
Okay, so about 150, I would think.
Right, which I don't have that kind of money, so I'd be using my my background life of servitude to ask for a favor.
Is this then tied to your clan? Because you begin as part of service to them.
Yeah, and well, I don't know how it works here, but it's like once per session I can ask for a favor in a town. Like I have to be in a town.
Right. Oh, I'm assuming your clan, especially as you get closer to where you're based, you're definitely going to have operatives at work undercover. Yeah, you ask around, the people who are hiring out mounts and such, and whatever sort of secret codes or signal you have to indicate, who the operative is. We'll roll and see if you can find it and how successful it is.
I would that be sneaky or clever?
Whichever you prefer.
I'll do sneaky then. I get more bonuses for that. 2d6 plus 2. Awesome.
You can re-roll it because it's part of your background.
Hey, nice.
Jeez, what a change.
You make the signal and you get like one finger out of position and then do it again.
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't be so strange. And then you remember what the actual phrase is. He's like, no, I meant this. And he's like, gives you this side eye and he's like, okay.
Whatever you say.
Yes, it's going to be a creature that approximates a camel that's suitable for traveling over the sands of the desert. It can move at a pretty decent speed and carry a decent amount of weight on it.
Perfect, and I will acquire food for it.
Yes, you'll definitely have enough supplies on it to keep it going, because there'd be no point in giving you otherwise.
Yeah.
But this means you're not going to be stranded in the desert if something goes wrong, at least.
Exactly. I can't trust other people to have my welfare in their best interest.
I would say as well, Shiki, in a place of trade like this, as remote as it is, your name and wealth would definitely have sway here if you wanted to procure something as well. I see it away again.
Sorry, I missed that.
I was saying,
Uh,
even though this place is kind of remote, Shiki, because it is like a place of a lot of trade with a lot of connections, you would still be able to use your influence of like wealth and trade here in order to procure transport or a mount or something if you wanted.
yeah, I'll try and procure a mount. Get myself my own mountains, some desert traveling gear.
Yep, so whatever approach you want to use to talk to people and barter.
I'll probably be very careful. Make sure I get a good trader. So +1, that's a 10.
Yes, you're able to barter and make some agreements, sign some bits of paper, all very official, standardised and stamped, so that it'll be taken care of by your clan's finances. And secure yourself a mount with appropriate, saddles and food and water for it and such. But you also will not be left in the desert should something go wrong.
Nice.
How does Jam feel? I mean, you're on solid ground now, but this is not a lush, verdant forest. It is certainly natural to an extent, but it's a very different biome.
I wouldn't call the ground solid.
Not too hot, but also too hot. Yeah, as for like transport, I have no goal.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be
I
given
need
like a mount,
everyone.
but it's just like it's not like your mount. So
Yeah,
if the caravan decides to suddenly go somewhere, they might possibly leave you behind.
yes. I think I need to rely upon the kindness of others.
That sounds fine. Is there anything you want to do otherwise in town here besides get your medical supplies?
I was going to, like, once we get to what's his name, Madala's home, I was going to try and talk to Feast about something as well. So I think I'll leave that for then.
Right. Okay then. Till you get to the capital.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. And Raz, you were just getting your axe, correct?
I think I should probably also try to get healed up before we leave.
Might be an idea. Yeah. You don't have a couple of days here until the sandstorm actually gets to a level that's okay for you to mount up and leave.
I'm gonna go intimidate a doctor or a medicine person.
You're not intimidating the same medicine man, are you? The old blind guy.
Yeah, I'll just go in there and just gruffly say, Are you a healer?
He's instantly a little intimidated and taken aback. Yes, I'm a healer. Can I help you?
I require your aid. My group's healer is less than adequate and has left great wounds upon me.
Oh, yes, I believe I can at least try to help you, my friend. Won't you take a seat, please? He indicates the small wooden stool in front of him.
I carefully sit down in it. It just lets out a groan of protest.
He gets up and feels his way around the table to you, and seems a little startled when he touches you. Oh, you are not a man.
I am much more than a man.
I see. Did you have money to pay him, or are you literally scaring him into healing you?
I've got like 6 gold.
So you're gonna scare him into healing you?
I'm gonna just pay him not nearly enough for his services.
Yeah, give me a roll.
Would I have an advantage since I have intimidating and disturbing?
I mean, he's a blind man on his own, so yeah.
13.
Well, it'll be 11, won't it? Because you'll get there.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
11.
Same difference. Okay, yeah, he's going to try and heal you. Let's see. Okay, he will heal one of your wounds. He starts like putting things into the wound on your back, and he starts like doing some chant in a language that is only passingly familiar to you. And he's clearly nervous as he's doing so, especially when he's like feeling around and he's just getting a sense for your size and your strength. And when you clatter the coins onto the desk to pay him, you know, he counts them up and he feels around in case he's like missed one, because there should be more and there isn't, but he just keeps quiet about it.
You're a most excellent healer. Would you be interested in going upon this journey with me to act as my personal medicine man?
Alas, my friend, I have many friends and family and obligations here already, but thank you for the kind offer.
Oh, a shame. I'll just squeeze through the door.
It's a sigh of relief from him as you leave. And when he closes the door behind you, you can hear it locking as well. I think we'll call it there for tonight if everyone's good with that.
Yeah, I'll just have to find someone else to kidnap to be my doctor.
You kill Grintook and take another.
Well, Grintook's not the doctor. Grintook's the chef.
Yeah, you just exchange the companion.
I can stick to the medicine from now on instead of the mana.
No,
Yeah, you
just
can always do both.
The way people be getting wounded, you probably need to do both.
I'm the only one who's been wounded so far.
No,
Nah, I've been
Shiki's
wounded
been
too.
wounded twice.
Oh no, I mean by the healing. I thought he meant.
No, I've taken 2 actual wounds. One's been healed, the other's still lingering.
Yeah, there's been a
Oh
few.
yeah, but I mean, like when Jam healed him, I think one time he took like pain from it or something, but
He-
she took a wound.
He took a pain this time, yeah, another time you took a wind, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so fireside chats. We had Jam and Shike, and we had Raz and Fee all doing fireside, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Drac can have one as well because he had a sit down with Madela.
Does that count?
Yeah, because you told him everything about you, and then he was telling you stories about his journeys. I think that counts.
Sweet. I'll take it.
And then everyone gets one just for being in the session. And then drives. Who got drive?
I ate the
we'll
deadliest snake in the world.
Did you eat it that time?
You did,
I think-
because Drac gave it to Grintook, who would have brewed it up for you.
Finding clues about the conjuration tablet because I found out about the Madela's, the tablet.
Medall's tablet.
That count? And the similarities.
Yeah, I guess it's another clue on the trail. Sure.
Yep. Cool.
Does redemption count for jumping in and saving people, or does shiny count for finding out about the weapon? Trying to put the pieces together.
I don't think shiny, but I think maybe the redemption one.
Yeah, I saved a random person.
You
Well,
saved
he was
us,
already
Laura.
he was already dead, but that's the thought that counts, right?
I mean, you also helped save Raz.
Oh, well.
You were the first to dive and jump in, so
Yeah, and you had no reason to save Raz, really.
Well, he's my muscle. It's kind of selfish right there.
Yeah, it is, but you've also got other meat shields, so and you're putting yourself a lot of risk there, being the deadly snake and stuff.
Well, I'll ask. I got it. Putting it down.
But the most redeeming thing was catching the snake and then giving it to Raz.
Or
Poor
give it
Gintook.
Gintook.
I kind of know what he's doing, so I'm just kind of helping him out a little bit. Like, you poor bastard.
Like, you go, buddy. You kill that mentor.
Yeah, you killed that asshole. You got this.
What about Fee? Did Fee get drive?
I think he kind of befriended some of the crew. Madela. I think after a long time he's feeling like in a safe company, surrounded with something like friends.
Yeah.
I think he took a step of befriending somebody.
Yeah, I think he made more of a connection this time.
Yeah. And by the way, I added up a new drive after the conversation with the medicine man
Uh-huh.
to find out who are those shadow people.
Yeah. I'm guessing because of
Yeah.
the last campaign you had with Drac, you might have seen some of his ability.
Yeah, I didn't hide it the first campaign, so.
So I think he's with you long enough you would have seen the shadow step at least once.
Yeah, I'm already suspecting. I still haven't approached Drac that I actually know him from before.
Yeah.
And especially after what Medicine Man told me, I'm connecting the dots. Drakan might be one of those shadow people, so it's becoming my drive, especially now when we are coming to Merrillet, where there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, notable enemy or task? I don't really think so this time.
No.
Would everyone else get one for the Basilisk?
But they didn't overcome it, it just showed up and chased things away.
Well, they ran away from it. They got away.
Yeah, that's not overcoming it. That's
Here's a note.
bypassing it.
I've got it. Here's a difficult task. Naoki survived.
Did he though? I need to do that
We
roll
don't
still.
know yet.
He
We
survived.
don't know if
on
he
the river.
survived the end of the campaign.
We need to do rolls and then see if he turns up later. Okay, he's learned something new about the characters of the world. I think that happened.
Well, we found out about the second tablet being stolen or whatever.
Yeah, that was huge.
And then after that, it's nominations for awesome.
There wasn't a
like-
lot of awesome moments in this campaign.
I feel like the fishing has just taken the awesome spot for me. Both Dakan
Fishing.
and Dakan and well, Grintuk
Yeah, I
and
kind of agree. Raz fishing with Gruntuk was
I
one of the funniest
I
things
feel like
happened this
Grantuk should
session.
have a lot of awesome XPs, man.
When Raz dies, I'll take over Grintuk's character. If you can
Yeah,
kill
so
Raz.
Raz can die.
Yeah.
He's a freaking mountain of muscles. It's gonna be very hard to kill.
We're working on it. Okay.
I've had my track almost fill up each time, but it just gets healed at the end.
Yeah, you're the tank. That's your job, right?
I don't think Drakan diving straight in to rescue Raz was an awesome thing.
I did like how you just played Shiki's fear of the insects by just fainting every time you saw them.
The girly
Complete
scream.
trauma.
Girly scream,
Yeah.
yeah, to match Naoki's.
Yeah, they thought it was Naoki for a moment. Turns out it was Shiki. Like, what?
They both just died of fright.
Shiki's been as well because Shiki's been so calm all campaign. Is like the most kind of thing. All that quaint smile of his that you've seen was when he dug up his father. It's like after every all time he's just that calm little smile he's got in his face never changes. And it's like he screams like okay.
So, not
Oh,
big
good.
on the awesomes this time.
No, really.
It was a lot more talking this time, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot more character interaction this time.
Which can also be awesome at times.
Yeah, I did like a Jam failing to heal and then being smug about using medicine.
Oh yeah, I was.
I know. I liked that you described her as being smug, and then when he says about your healing capabilities, and you just drop it. I
But
can just,
also,
I just imagined the sting there that you felt.
but I feel like everyone's interactions with Madala were really good too. Like Fee taking a joke with him, and then getting tense again.
Oh my god, Fee made that bad joke to Madala. Oh my god. It's like that would have went one of two ways, boy. That was either gonna be they're gonna laugh at you or they're gonna go down in violence.
Lucky that I'm looking scrawny.
I guess if we're
Not
gonna
being
add conversations as something that was epic, then Jams and Siki's conversation was like the most in depth and deep.
Until he
That's 'cause
just
Shiki's not.
dramatically turned around.
Because everyone seems to have very low expectations of this party except Shiki. Shiki's like, yeah, I think we've got a great crew. And everyone else is like, yeah, everybody's gonna die.
Were you gonna say something, Phil?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I think at any given moment, half of our party seem like we're gonna die. But it's not always the same half, you know.
Oh, I got no faith. The only person I got faith in to make it into the end is honestly Guntuck.
He's just the kind of devious, sneaky bastard that's going to make it out here.
Yeah, like Raz, he just charges into whatever. Doesn't matter. Siki, he fainted because of some bugs.
But that also says a lot about Drac, though. That Drac looks at characters like that and he's like, yeah, that one's going to make it because he's like me.
Hey, I'm the only one who made it from last time, so that's good character reference right there. I got it.
Yeah, Drakan was the sole survivor of the last campaign.
I just need to get some armor for piercing damage. 'Cause that's the only thing that I can take real normal damage from.
Something against piercing damage would be like plate.
Well, the problem is you have to find it, or because like we're not getting a lot of money on this campaign.
Yeah, you're not doing anything to get paid for.
I'm sure if we go to the barbarian village, I can just challenge someone to a fight for money.
We say this, but Shiki is like rich.
Shiki's like uber rich, remember? If we're in any place of commerce, I could probably just roll to see if he can get it for you.
Yeah.
And we're currently in a place of commerce.
So I
it's
mean,
like,
you could approach him and just say, "Hey, I'm your bodyguard. I need better armor." Remember, you can't just like wear 3 different types of armor to cover all the stuff.
Well, I know I have Gambison right now, but that's for blunt. But I think I've got blunt covered just by
I would get rid of Gambison if you're going to be in the desert anyway.
yeah, because it's hot
Yeah.
and sweaty.
But also, to be fair, the can probably get anything for you.
Yeah.
I can probably get most things. It's just if the shopkeeper will be happy about it or not.
Well, see, you're thinking like if the shopkeeper will be happy, but what if you intimidate him, take your shit, and leave? Then he calls like the guards on you or something.
Then I intimidate the guards.
Yeah, you put a lot of trust in that intimidation ability.
The guard shop and it's even bigger minotaurs.
I mean, the place the mentor's been previously in his life, it probably worked out for him because it was that kind of place.
Yeah,
But-
I mean at the cube, you can just probably take if you see something you want, you beat someone up and take it.
Yeah, but I mean, they'll tend to have pretty rough people selling the stuff in the first place because that happens. But I mean,
Yeah, I only attempted to straight up steal something because I knew there was no guards protecting a rundown city. Like, there ain't no guards around here.
and like you said, that was a guy that was just kind of taking advantage of it already.
Yeah. I wouldn't try that shit in actual city.
The cube is the only place with the Minotaur Commerce Guild.
Well, I mean, you were part of the Golden Boys company there as well, which is like the biggest, most powerful one, so they would have been able to give you everything you needed, really, anyway. But yeah, we'll pick up from here next week.
awesome. I'll see y'all next week.
All right. See you guys next week.
See-
All right, later.
See you then.